Hello, love wrestling. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. And you know what that means. It's another new episode of Between Two Beards.
Start off with the biggest news of the week. The Rats lost! If you got the budget, I've got the time.
There he is.
Hey, boss!
There's the boss.
Hey!
The man with the finest beard on this screen.
Canadian men, boys, shut the hell up. Let me talk.
You see, the Rads are resourceful. When I got beef with somebody, I can find a way to talk to them.
Between two beers.
Hello, love wrestling. It is 8 p.m. It is Thursday night. And y'all know what that means.
Apparently that means it's firmly AEW.
Wait, what?
We forgot to put the background up, the overlay, so I hit the wrong one. That one. Because we have a guest tonight.
Well, hey. Well, it does mean that it's another new episode of Between Two Beards, and a big episode.
Yeah.
Between Two Beards. We got our buddy, our legal representation, Lawrence, popping on here in just a few minutes. We're going to talk about Money in the Bank, the weekend that we had, and the event, and NXT, and all things WWE. And then a little bit later on tonight at 9, our other buddy, Drew Nicholas, will be popping on, and we're going to talk some AEW. So we got a big night, a lot of things to talk about, all the wrestling and all the big news that went on this weekend. But if you watch this show, you know what we're starting with tonight, all right? Because you know, if you are a viewer of Between Two Beards, you know, last Saturday, as I was in attendance at Money in the Bank in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, Jack Perry was on AEW Collision, and he had himself an open challenge for the TNT Championship. And I'm sitting there covering Money in the Bank, and I see on my social media feed things popping off. And I go, oh, what happened? And all of a sudden, who answered Jack Perry's open challenge?
Who?
But none other.
Who, JPJ?
Who? Marko Stunt. Pluggo's The Boyhood Dream has come true.
The prodigal son has
Honestly,
returned.
This is, this is a crowning moment here in Between Two Beards history. A crowning moment.
All the haters gonna hate.
Because if you have been here, you know that week after week, for what seems to be since Marko Stunt basically left AEW.
So whenever Christian signed with AEW and forced his way into the Jurassic Express and broke that up and threw my boy Marko Stunt away like a piece of trash, every show I've been on, whether it's this one, whether it's other ones that don't even understand the gag, if you will. It's not a gag. This is real life, but they don't understand it. I have predicted Marko Stunt for every surprise challenger return. You name it. I've put the graphic up. I've put the GIF up. And I've been laughed at. I've been ridiculed. Our legal team kicked me out of streams for mentioning his name multiple times. Yep. And I'm sitting there Saturday night. If you want to set the stage, you were at Money in the Bank, so I could understand I was sitting at home watching Money in the Bank, 4th of July weekend. My kid's begging to go outside. I'm like, I'm getting ready to all right, we're going to go outside. We're going to catch fireflies, do some stuff. Let me get ready. And my phone just starts lighting up like one of my 7 Christmas trees. And I'm like, oh, maybe I had a really cool Money in the Bank tweet. Because I was not watching Collision live. Yeah, I was watching Money in the Bank. And somebody had tweeted Marko Stunt's on Collision. And I thought it was a joke. Similar to, Dustin says, I thought Pluggo was joking. I was not. So I flip on Collision and there's my boy. After 3 years or so of begging for a return, Tony Khan finally listens. He watches Spears. He goes, we got to make this Pluggo guy's day. Mm-hmm. So what happens? Marko Stunt shows up on Collision. This is not a drill. This is real life. I stopped Money in the Bank dead in its tracks. I think it was during the women's ladder match.
Which was the best match on the show.
Right. So I've got it going, and I'm like, but I'm here. I'm like, oh, shoot.
Oh, of course.
And
this was your moment.
He gets absolutely worked by Jack Perry, that piece of garbage.
Yeah.
But
he's back.
But he's back.
Yeah.
And I am here to accept the 2024 Beardy Award for Return of the Year on behalf of the real Mr. Fun Size himself, Marko Stunt. You see that meme on the internet where they say blank and blank. Have sex is great, but have you ever? Yeah, sex is great, but have you ever been there on your couch when Marko Stunt returns after 3 years of begging for said return? Sorry, Mrs. Pluggo. It was amazing. Sidebar, too. I was so pumped up for the Marko Stunt return, I made a run at Mrs. Pluggo. I was feeling good about myself. I said, hey, honey, what are you doing later? What are you doing later? You know what I'm saying?
Good stuff. Yeah, well, so Hab guy, we're clipping it. That one's getting clipped, brother.
As we said on Saturday morning on Forza, I was fully torqued for a good 4.5 hours. You're supposed to see a doctor.
Yeah, that's what they say.
But I just wrote it out because Marko Stunt was back on TV. All the haters had nothing else to say because they were like, damn it, he finally got one. I have been to Fastlane and did the press conference. I am the guy that got Cody Rhodes to yeet out loud. On first yeet he's ever done was me. I'm yelling at him to yeet. I asked John Cena on LA Knight a question. We've had Sean Ross Sapp on this program. We have interviewed the who's who in professional wrestling. I've gotten to do some of the coolest shit in my life because of professional wrestling. And my phone did not blow up as much as everybody knowing that this was my moment and that I somehow wheeled this into existence because I kept Marko Stunt's great untarnished name alive for 3 years because he got rightfully tossed to the side for that lack of work ethic dad, Christian Cage. And here he is. He's back. He's got the fever again. He's going to make a run. We're calling for a title shot for Marko Stunt. All right. Haters going to hate. Marko Stunt has returned. All is right in the world.
There it is. That was we needed to give Pluggo his time. He earned that.
Oh, did I earn that?
So we do have, like I said, we have Lawrence coming on. We're going to talk some WWE. However,
do you guys know what it's like, though, seriously, to sit there and be like one of the only people champion in this man's name and being just laughed at by like the upper echelon of like wrestling media going, you're ridiculous. maybe that's why I don't get invited back to a lot of places.
Maybe.
Because they're like, he's a bum. He's picking Marko Stunt. And here he is, Mr. Fun Size. Jack Perry cheated. Marko Stunt should have won. He should be your new TNT champion. But anyway, we got a lot going on.
All right. So Lawrence is coming on in a few minutes. We're going to have Lawrence on for a while with us. We're going to talk about the weekend. We're going to talk about WWE. However, we have another person popping on here for a few minutes to talk about something he's got going on. Not just this Saturday night, but every Saturday night.
He didn't like the time slot I offered him.
At Love Wrestling. We got our friend,
he's
the
a big
one,
star,
the
big
only,
star.
the voice of LPW. Triple B, the real Triple B. You hear that? The real Triple B.
Who's the other
Big
Triple
Bad
B?
Boris, this lovely fella here. How you doing, sir?
It's not that I don't like the time slot. There's just a big bowl of ravioli waiting for me down there. So I know this is incredibly unprofessional, but
No,
literally I got a new microphone and I just want to know if it sounds okay.
Sounds good.
You sound good. You're a tad low for me.
I'm a tad
However,
low.
my ears are awful, and I will be deaf within the next 10 years.
It's funny. He said he wanted
You're
to come on and
a smidge
test
low
his
for me.
microphone,
You
and
sound
I go,
clear and nice. You sound good.
Boris, why don't you promote this awesome new show you have? And he goes,
Well,
I should do that.
I'm gonna get. I got a second monitor coming tomorrow. Like I'm doing this up right. I'm not effing around here. But I just wanted to say hello to you, fine gentlemen. I wanted to test out the old microphone. But if you want me to plug-o, as they say,
yes, you definitely you have to plug-o your stuff.
Yeah,
the first
having
2 weeks,
stuff if you can't plug it.
The first 2 weeks of Saturday Night Love, I think, have been great successes. I've had a lot of fun. It's been a wild and wacky run of nonsense and open house guests and stuff. And it's exactly what I wanted. This week, coming up, twitch.tv/LoveWrestlingCA. We're on Twitch because it's a lawless wasteland and we can get away with more stuff there. 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, midnight Eastern. We will be joined by none other than... officially joined by none other than the LPW Challenge Champion, God's gift to wrestling, your savior, Michael Richard Blaze. Usual open house rules apply. Michael Fitzpatrick is quickly becoming my Ed McMahon, my Paul Schaefer, my Jeff the Gay Robot Skeleton, my Andy Richter, if you will.
Yes.
So yeah, check that out. It's going to be another fun episode of Saturday Night Love. And,
can I come by, or is he going to yell at me again?
It is open house. I don't even need to send the link out to you guys because you guys are important. You can just do whatever you want. But I send the link out to everybody. Just come on in and have a good time. So if I raise this up a little bit, does it sound better? If I raise hello. Okay.
That sounds maybe maybe not this, but like right. But like right there was good.
Right.
So like
I have the ironic thing is I actually have a diploma in radio.
Fair.
You would never know it, but I do.
It sounds great. The show's awesome. Before you go diving into any other details about anything, where were you when Marko Stunt returned?
When did Marko Stunt return? On Saturday, was it?
Last Saturday.
What the hell, Boris? I just went on a 14-minute rant.
You're fired up. I like to see the excitement. I think that's pretty awesome. I don't watch a lot of the regular weekly televised wrestling.
Where were you Saturday night at 9:20?
9:20 Eastern
time?
Saturday, so 7:20.
Yeah. This past Saturday, where were you?
7:20 Eastern? I don't know. I was probably sitting on the couch watching.
Putting people on the spot, plug-o.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jeez, just let the guy plug his stuff and go in peace. You got to make him feel bad.
So is he like a full-time? Is he like re-signed, or was this like a one-shot?
That we don't know. I think plug-o just automatically assumes he's back in full. We're getting a full push. We're getting a full Marko Stunt push right now.
It's like our buddy Sean Ross Sapp, right? He did that one thing with Shaz at Black Label Pro. Now he's fighting Effie in a couple.
He's fighting Effie now.
He's got the itch, man. The ball's rolling. Marko Stunt got the itch. He's that youth pastor stuff is great work. He's doing awesome stuff. Good for him. But you know what? There's nothing like mixing it up in a wrestling ring and being just Mr. Fun Size. So as far as I'm concerned, he's back full time now.
Well, maybe Mr. Spencer Love needs to hop on the computer machine and send some and bust the budget, so to speak. Send some emails Would you come down here for that? Would you fly your?
Oh, if Marko Stunt was wrestling for
Yes.
LPW, Pluggo would have to find a way.
Yeah, I'd have to find a way.
He would have to find.
I would
that
go. I
picture
would find
need to be on the
I would have
interwebs
I'd have
of
to.
Pluggo and Marko.
I would settle
together
for
in
just
person.
doing the LPW show and being the one that gets to interview Marko Stunt. I don't think I just hope that somebody messages him and goes, "This guy is like your number one fan." That's all. But yes, I would be there.
There you
Spencer says, "Shoot, actually, he was going to do that, but we just blew the booking fee by having you on the show, Boris."
Oh,
You know what? I'll tell you what. I will. This one's on the house. I'm going to peace out anyway because I'm going to go eat some
There you go.
ravioli.
Well, before you go though, Mrs. Pluggo sending you off in style. She says, "Hi, hey, look, it's my favorite bearded man, Boris."
I'm telling you, Saturday Night Love. We're going to get Mrs. Pluggo and the Big Bad
On
Babe,
air.
which is the thing I just coined myself. Actually, I just came up with that, and we'll let them talk about us and hope that it's.
She said she's in. She just needs a couple of drinks to get her
Liquid
to get
courage.
Liquid
Need some
courage.
liquid
She's
courage.
in
You know,
Mrs.
sometimes we need
Pluggo.
it.
It's fun, Mrs. Pluggo. You're her favorite bearded man, and she's your favorite Pluggo, so it works out.
There you go. I love you guys. Thank you so much for letting me come
Thanks
on
for
here and
popping in,
test
Boris.
the
We love you too.
microphone. 10 p.m. Mountain, midnight Eastern, Saturday Night Love, Michael Richard Blaze, and whoever else happens. Hopefully you guys too. And
I might be there.
We will see you there.
All right, bye, Boris. Thank you,
Watch this.
sir.
I can remove myself. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, watch this. All right, now back to the Marko Stunt talk. He's back. He's better than ever. Scott's here. And all right, we're delaying too long, but he's
Yeah, we
awesome.
can get Lawrence on this
All right,
screen.
real quick, Scott's here. I gotta shout you out. I'm
for
gonna
a
do
half
it.
hour.
I know. I gotta do it. I'm not gonna put Lawrence
do
in the
it
mix
now.
in this because he's legal. Scott, we appreciate you for this one, fam. That's right. That's right, Reed Matthews. If you're gonna interrupt Pluggo and JPJ stream to challenge the champion, you at least need to win. Shout out, Scott. You're a real one for that. We appreciate
I mean,
you.
Scott is putting his life on the line.
Yeah,
right
you're
there
putting
by
your
saying
life
comments
on the
like
line.
that. Like that is
We-
dedication.
Listen, we
That is dedication.
appreciate the front line, the B2B Army standing up for us. But listen, Reed Matthews is one hell of a dude. He'll fight you. He's crazy, but we love him. We love Lawrence. He's in the house. You two went to Money in the Bank this weekend, and it was the second biggest thing to happen this weekend in professional wrestling outside of Marko Stunt's return. So, first and foremost, boys, how was it? I want to know all the tea, all the scoops.
Well-
Who sleeps in? Were you guys cuddling? Who sleeps naked?
No,
Who
we're
leaves?
going to
the
talk
toilet
enough
seat
about the
up?
place that we stayed in. Trust
Yeah,
me,
the
we're gonna
murder
talk
house.
enough about the place that we stayed in.
Just first thing, I'm going to need a formal apology from Marko Stunt and Tony Khan solely for Pluggo's 4-hour erection that he just talked
It was
about.
4 hours. It was all night. I was
And they need to write a hand-worded apology note to Mrs. Pluggo for that.
Don't worry. No
Pluggo was
apologies
full on
needed.
pants tent. He was full on pants tent. He was just like, boom,
Yeah,
baby.
She was
midnight,
well
baby.
taken care of, folks.
Incredible.
this is the worst thing Tony Khan has ever done
I
to
thought
me
I felt
personally
the ground-
as well.
Even up in Toronto, I thought I felt the ground shake when it happened. I looked at my phone and I was like, "Ooh, that was a vibration. Pluggo must be losing it."
I was.
So-
I couldn't. I was pacing around the house like I was just like, "Is this real life? Holy shit!" Like no joke, because I have been on this damn bandwagon for 3 years.
Like I was yes.
I want you to enjoy this night, Pluggo, because we
Yeah.
are not talking about Marko Stunt ever again on
That's
this show.
not even true.
After this week, we are never
That's true. That I'm
mentioning Marko Stunt again. The moment has come.
No.
We
Yep.
will savor the moment tonight, and then
Then
we're done with the moment. Sami Zayn said on the comedy show Thursday night, we are going to keep moving forward.
And
That's
listen
what we're gonna
here,
do.
if that's the
Forward.
case, I just won't be here next week.
What? Anyway.
If I can't talk Marko Stunt, then I've got no reason to talk wrestling. That's
well,
Marko
last
Stunt
weekend,
is wrestling. Marko
last
Stunt
weekend-
is life.
last weekend, I drove up to the Montreal. Last Wednesday, I met up with Lawrence. We had an afternoon beer or two, a drink or two.
Did you say the Montreal? I drove up to the Montreal.
The Montreal, yes.
Okay. Interesting.
So we did that, and then I picked up one Zark And we drove up to Toronto on Thursday where we met up at Lawrence. And I think, I think we got to start the trip by talking about this place that we stayed at.
Before you do that, Phil, you're right. Between Two Beards officially has merch. If you go to teespring.com/between2beards,
We got to
get a T-shirt now.
We got to get a tag with the link for next week.
Yeah, I'll have to put something. But yeah, you can get a shirt. You can get hoodies. I got to put. Philly wants a tank top. I got to put that on there. I can't.
Yeah. Mouse pads. Do they still sell mouse pads? Do people still use mouse pads?
I think so.
Post-its.
Yeah, I made it.
What can you do on there?
Get us a merch page.
I'll let Lawrence take the lead here.
Murder House.
Yeah, it was.
So going into this, I immediately made the joke and connection the second I saw where our Airbnb was like I immediately made the joke that it's technically Elm Road, but we all know they just rebranded and it was Elm Street. And this is another time where a joke of mine got entirely too real too quick.
Too quick. The second we walked in there.
Yeah, legitimately, it was a house. Like it's like nice refurbished house, completely old, like 30, like 40 years past date, and then another regular house. Sandwiched in between.
That was the thing I noticed immediately. Is we getting dropped off. I drove right, so I'm driving through this neighborhood, and there's really nice, you could tell they're like newer. They've been all done up in the last 4 to 6 years. Really nice, and then right in the middle of their road, there's one house that has looked the same since 1914.
And that's the one you guys landed on?
That's the one. Yeah. That's the one that it tells me to pull in the driveway, and I go, immediately I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
Please tell me it was at least cost efficient, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. It was the cheaper one.
I hope so. So we walk in there.
Pay top dollar for that thing.
We walk in there. There's the living area, which literally has a couch, a coffee table, and then there's what felt like 35 square feet of just emptiness, just a giant room. It's got 2 separate swinging doors, basically.
That's a choice.
I can't even there were the bedrooms. Lawrence's room the mattress was just on the floor.
Yeah.
It was just on the floor.
Yeah.
Just on the floor in the corner of the room.
What is that?
My mattress was 7 feet off the ground. Now I am not a tall man. No. My mattress was 7 feet off the ground. I almost had to use a stepladder to get on top of it. That's how high off the ground my mattress was. The box, I was like, Jesus, what is happening here? We had a Harry Potter cupboard in there. You could have fit 2 bodies in there. It was so big. Absurd. Yep. The basement looked like
that like button and subscribe button, and make sure you tell all your friends to retweet that because
the basement looked like there were definite bodies in there at one point.
You guys came on Saturday on for exposure and gave us a quick run through. That basement looked real sketch.
Yeah, I showed him the basement. It makes it even worse that in the adjoining room there was just empty luggage. There was people's luggage that they left there. Somebody you murdered and then disposed of their stuff.
Yeah. But kept the suitcase because it was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, it was fucking we're past 10 minutes. It was fucking gnarly, dude. It was I looked down the basement from and I'm not somebody who's scared of things, but I looked down the basement from the top or second step, and I was like, nah, dude, I'm not even. I don't need to go. There's no reason I need to go down there. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but there's no reason I need to go down there.
Do I need to worry about?
No, we're staying. Okay. We're bougie, bro.
Yeah,
I use my own money on that one. We're good. We're good. Yeah. We're good.
Do I need to worry for SummerSlam? Because by the way, the Beards are going to SummerSlam, fam. We're taking
I officially booked my whole trip today. By the way, too. I am officially good to go. Flights, Airbnb. We're good. We're feeling it. Nice flight, under 2 hours. Oh, God bless. God bless. I'm checking. No, we'll talk about it. We don't need. These people don't need to know.
Yeah, I was like, shit, I don't know.
All they need to know is that the Beards are taking over. That happened. All right. So that was kind of where we stayed. But again, we really just slept there. It's not like we But it was also like the second we walked in, we were all like, well, all right.
Yeah.
I was like, Zach, you better give this person a bad review. A bad review.
They're Canadian. They're not going to do that.
About the host, yeah, that's why I knew he was going to be too nice. When it asks about the host, you can say the host was great because he seemed to be a nice guy. When it asks about no, just a no. You don't have to go in, just a no.
No, I did get a notification that he reviewed us, and well, at least Zach, because I think it was under Zach's name, and like my name was on there too. And he gave us a good review. It's like a great guest. I'm like, I definitely left the frame to like the Money in the Bank, like the the step and repeat, the backdrop to the Q&A that we did, the press thing we did. They just gave that to us.
I doubt he knew. He doesn't know if that thing has been in the room for a week or 4 years.
Yeah,
but no way.
He was just so happy that somebody booked his Airbnb
and didn't die.
Like, these guys rule.
They didn't mysteriously disappear.
Oh my God, we got somebody that rented this. It's been 11 years.
I was the first Airbnb on the market. Nobody's bit until this Money in the Bank trip. But how much time did you have to spend in the murder house? Enough
we had to sleep there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
first of all, all right, and I don't know if this is listen. I don't
what
know
is real quick?
I don't know if it's a Canadian thing or not. There weren't even towels in the Airbnb.
There was one.
There was one towel. And that was the hand towel to like wash it, you dry your hands on it when you're done with the sink. Now,
why were you sprawled out like some French girl on Saturday morning?
Me?
Yeah. I literally, when you came, I looked at your room real quick.
JPJ?
I didn't put you on camera.
He goes, I'm sprawled. He's sprawled out in bed.
Yeah, you were just like on the edge.
Fucking rested.
Yeah.
Had a long day ahead of me. What do you think? You think I just wake up like this? I mean, I do. Yeah. But like, you know what I mean? Like,
you put effort into that? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, you know what? I was sprawled out in bed at what time were you doing it? 10
on Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, I think I had already gone out for I don't know, whatever. Don't judge me. Anyway.
He did. He goes, he's laying on the bed like a French girl drinking coffee.
Damn right. That's what I do when I go away. I find coffee shops and I go get a nice coffee every morning. That's how I start the day. Don't get on my case.
I'm not getting on your case.
What do you think's going to happen in Cleveland?
I wasn't there. I'm asking questions. It's called internal.
Well, I'm letting you know right now. In Cleveland, I've already started my research.
Okay,
I'll be waking up probably between 7:30 and 8:30 and finding a bougie-ass coffee shop and going to get a coffee.
Okay, well, let's do it.
If you want to come with me, I would love you to come with me.
Dude, I'm not leaving your side in Cleveland. I'm scared.
Well, all right. That's fair. I'll hold your hand all the way through, baby. I got you. Anyway, so
I'm gonna drive on out there and then just attach myself to your hip for.
That's probably a mistake, but we'll make it work. We'll make it work. All right. So so Thursday we all get there. We're chilling in the murder house, whatever. So Thursday night, Lawrence and I decide we purchase tickets to go see the Sami Zayn comedy show. Sullivan, you are correct. Don't say bitches, because I don't think Pluggo is that bougie. I
could have slept on the floor of a hotel room.
Pluggo would have walked into the murder house and been like, hell yeah, bro. Where am I sleeping?
I'd have been like, I'm good. I'll sleep in my
this
car.
works for me. At one point, we had Matt Viviani stayed over for a night because he had extra work on SmackDown, and he stayed over, and he literally had to take the 3 cushions off the couch and sleep across them on the floor. And then Zach had to sleep on that couch with no cushions. Unbelievable.
What?
That's what we were dealing with.
That's
what we were dealing with.
I mean, I can fall asleep anywhere, dude.
And then Zach wanted us to get up and work the magic that me and Lawrence worked at the junket with those conditions. Do you understand the MVP plays that me and Lawrence had to do at that junket to look as good as we did?
That's why I'm asking.
Dealing with those conditions on a nightly basis. Woo! Lucky I'm not trying to find a union after that, man. I'll tell you. I kid. No. So Lawrence and I go to the Sami Zayn comedy thing. Yeah. The line is literally around the block. Now, when I say around, like if it started here, it went all the way around the block.
Like it took us like a good 3 minutes to walk back. Like we we tried to line up once or twice, and like every time we're like we bailed because like we decided to go. There was also really cool barcade that was like right near the venue, so we hung out there while like because they're assigned seats, so we don't even have to line up.
Yeah.
So we hung out with Joel. We met up with Joel and Jeremy from Fightful and from In the Weeds. We hung out with them, and like also in line was I guess it was the three referees, Robinson,
Jason Ayers, and Lady Ref Jessica Carr.
Jessica Carr.
They're just in line, just in the middle of listen, let's face it. They're in the middle of the plebs with all of us. Like, they're just in the middle of the line. These people work for WWE. Why are they waiting in line? There's nobody they can text and go, hey, I'm in line. People are bothering me, asking me for pictures and shit. Get me out of here.
It wasn't that bad. Well,
they were nice. They were lovely people. But.
Yeah, no, on their way out, they got, like, that's when people noticed Charles Robinson was there.
Yeah.
Like, no one noticed when he was in line, because I think people didn't expect him to be in line. Like, no one seemed to be bothering them. But on the way out, when they left the venue, they got like, especially Charles Robinson got mobbed.
Oh yeah. The Sami Zayn show, they made us put our phones in pouches so we couldn't have our phones. So stuff like that. They made me take my watch. They made us So, but it was very good. It was very fun. It was well put together. Sammy was excellent.
I like this. No towels was already listed. Don't worry, I'll bring all we need.
I didn't listen. Maybe that I'm just wrong, but like if I'm going to stay in like a beach area, I'll pack a beach towel or two. But I don't pack towels because I'm like, I need to bring my own towels for the shower at the hotel or Airbnb. Lawrence had to go to the store and buy us towels.
Well, I had my own towel just because I legitimately it's because mine was all a little wet.
Towel that he likes. To keep with him.
Well, I always make sure to pack my own towel when I go to an Airbnb just because I might not I don't like using other people's towels.
That's fair.
If I don't have to, like, especially if it's not a hotel, like I just like if it's an Airbnb,
a murder house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I brought my own towel, and like I legitimately went to the No Frills like down the street from our Airbnb and bought them the no name towels.
Oh, it's unbelievable. But the Sami Zayn show was really good. There were a couple improv bits that were funny. Bailey showed up, which was cool. Trish Stratus was there. Cody was there. Johnny Knoxville ended up showing up. That was a fun little thing that they did. I think they're going to be releasing it somewhere. I think they were recording it, so I don't want to ruin it by giving away too much, but it was pretty good. There were a couple good bits. Specifically, there was a bit where it looked like a fan popped on the stage and was, doing the thing where he was like, Sammy, can you take a picture? Oh, I have a friend in the hospital. Can you record a little? And Sammy's trying to be nice, but he's like, he really just wants this guy to get the hell out of here. And Sammy messes up the friend's name like 3 different times. And the guy's like, and also, can you act like you're like, like you want to be doing this? Like, can you add a little pizzazz to it or whatever? And then Trish Stratus comes out. And the fan automatically starts going to Trish Stratus and doing the same shit. But then Sammy gets jealous that the fan is talking to Trish, and the whole thing turns into Trish and Sammy competing with each other for the admiration of this fan who in the beginning, Sammy didn't even, he wanted to get, it was good. It was fun. It was good. So that was good. And then Friday, Lawrence and I, so the boss man, Spencer, was supposed to come, but things occurred and he couldn't make it out. So it was originally supposed to be Lawrence and Spencer that were doing the junket. So I stepped up and we did the junket. So that was a lot of fun.
Basically the junket, this one, it's different. Sometimes it's like a lot of times it's in like a conference room where it's just the junket. Whereas this one, they did it with the community event they do. Like you see a lot of times they do they show a video during Money in the Bank or before Money in the Bank where they're playing with kids, and that's basically what they did beforehand for the 45 minutes before they played games with kids where we watched, and then they brought out the little curtains and stuff to separate it for when you had to line up behind one of the backdrops, and we weren't told or anything. It was basically sort of a scramble to get with everyone's with their tripods and stuff to get line up by one of them. You weren't told which one was who. So that's why we missed out on Chelsea Green, because surprise, surprise, she was the most popular. Didn't know, like, obviously. But yeah, like we did get 3 of the 4, but it was really like legitimately a very fun experience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I love doing it. Like I love chatting with LA Knight. And
You guys
like,
got real close.
Yep.
Yeah, no, Lawrence
close.
killed that. He was the first one. So the first interview we did was Lawrence with LA Knight.
Nice.
And I think we were like second or third in line. So he was rearing to go. He was good, and Lawrence killed it. He popped him with one of his questions, which I thought was really good. It was just cool. And then I was able to do the one with Carmelo, and then we finished up with Tiffany, and then, you know, the rest of the afternoon, like we kind of just hung in there for a little bit. I had the pleasure of meeting Chris Van Fleet, which was pretty cool. He chatted with me for like 30 seconds or so. He was there. Yeah, go ahead, Lawrence.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say he was here. Like literally, we're like sitting down waiting, and we look up, and there's Cody Rhodes with Cliff Van Vliet in like a room on top of the gym. And like I think you did the whoa to him, just like he turned around, you both did it to each other, like you both acknowledged each other, which is a cool moment. So
that wasn't on. So like Lawrence said, like we're in a big like gymnasium type, like, you know, basketball hoops and stuff, and there's a glass room like at an office, a function office, and we look up and Chris Van Vliet's having a one-on-one with Cody up there, and then Cody turned around, and me being me, we made eye contact. 100% made eye contact with Cody, and I just needed him to know. So I did like a little mini whoa, and Cody had the belt, and he did the fucking whoa back. And I just went, all right, buddy. That's right. That's right. I go, in 5 years when I'm big that interviewing you remember that we did the whoa. So that was fun. And then Friday night, Zach got the privilege of heading to the Scotiabank to cover Smack-A-Down. I
gotta add that to the description.
Yeah.
3 bitches get on a podcast. It's called Between Two Beards. That's right.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Dustin, to answer your question, yes. Hi, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
Josh, you stud.
Josh was very nice to me on the Twitter machine over the weekend, and he made me feel special. So I love Josh. He knows that. Dustin, to answer your question, this was my first time in Toronto. It was. Obviously, most of the time, we didn't have a lot of time for touristy things because we had a pretty packed itinerary, but it was a very cool city. I would like to go back with a little bit more loose time to just kind of like see the city more, but I enjoyed my time. So Zach went to cover SmackDown on Friday night, and Lawrence and I went to GCW. It was the GCW versus IWS show in Toronto. It was at the Opera House, and that was a good time. That was a good time. A really good event. We saw Megan Bayne versus Jody Threat. We saw Speedball Mike Bailey against Kerry Morton, which was good. Speedball cut a promo for like the first fourth of the match. He was dropping F-bombs, and it was good. It was good. I liked it. Gabe Kidd wrestled on that show, so I got to see Gabe Kidd wrestle for the first time ever. That was cool. There was a 6-person tag with Bussy and Masha. It was supposed to be Nick Gage, but Nick Gage got injured, so he had to get pulled off the shows this past weekend. But Masha took Nick Gage's place, so that was a cool little tag team there. But that was a fun show. That was a fun show, Lawrence. We had a good time at GCW.
I definitely it was definitely the like a chance for me to blow off the stress, like the anxiety I had for like the last 2 days of that press junket going into it, and like, all right, it's finally done. And I got very drunk with like I was with like Shane Hawk, and Rye Levy was there, a good friend, shout out to him, and it was like me, JPJ, Rye, and then eventually Joel got in there with a press armband, like they let him in, and he was up like all the way up in the balcony hanging out. We were hanging out with him for a bit because they just had like I've been at that venue once before. I had no idea there's a top floor, like there's an open top floor for people to sit on, and there's just couches there, which I had no idea.
If I was going back to that venue, I think right when I got in there, I would have booked it up there and got one of the front couches and just been like, I am not leaving here. I might fall asleep at some point and take a nap, but I am not leaving this couch.
Dare the Amazing saying, "Hey Josh," and then Josh saying, "The Canadian crew." Yeah, you guys
So that was a lot of
killing
fun.
it.
And then Saturday morning, Jeremy and Joel were nice enough to invite the gang down to a Live in the Weeds they did on Saturday down at the Toronto Public Library. So we went down, we did that for a little bit, and then we ran into the lovely Emily May Heller. That was my first time meeting her. I knew who she was via New Japan and, and social media and stuff like that. But that was my first time meeting her, and she brought chocolate for everybody. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Then
like
we kind of went around the city. We got some food with like a bigger group like that, which was a lot of fun. And then we went our separate ways. And then it was time for Money in the Bank Saturday night, really.
Yeah. Like, I'll just say, I legit was my first time on a Fightful show and out on an by that thing on it In the Weeds. Had a great time. Like, very thankful for Jeremy to invite us. And basically it was the bit from the press junket the day before. Emily Heller gave chocolate to Chelsea Green, and Joel was just being sarcastic, be like, "Did you bring us chocolate?" And she was not fucking around.
No,
she had a purse full of
multiple options.
Yeah, multiple options of like the 6 packs of full size chocolate bars.
Yeah, she had coffee crisps. She don't tell MRB, but she had wagon wheels.
Yeah,
she had I know, but she had there was a whole handful of different variety of chocolate. If we run into her in Cleveland, I'm hoping I might tweet her and be like, "Should I bring my own chocolate, or are you taking care of that again this weekend if you're there?" I just need to know if I need to pack or buy chocolate.
That could be her thing. She's the chocolate.
Yeah. But she was super nice. Yeah. Good advice, things of that nature. She was cool. We snapped a nice little pic that went around the social medias. And then Saturday night, me and Zach covered Money in the Bank, which I thought was a good show. I thought it was a good show. And we can kind of dive into it here, I guess, as we continue through the weekend, because then Lawrence and I had a good Sunday together. We had Lawrence was stuck with me all day and night on Sunday. Yeah, but we had a real good Sunday. We had a real good Sunday together.
This is
but Money in the Bank I thought was good. I
want to hear about the Sunday night first, and then talk about Money in the Bank.
All right, you want to do that?
I want to hear about your lovely Sunday together.
You want to talk about our lovely Sunday, and then we'll circle back to Money in the Bank?
I'll just say this is where we split off. I spent, because I decided not to buy a ticket to Money in the Bank. So I just hung out with Matt Viviani and Erica from IWS. We've had on the show, it's been all our shows before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we just hung out at the rec room playing games. The same rec room not the same one, this is the Toronto one, where LPW broadcasts out of. But yeah, we played games and had drinks, and we're just gossipy all night, and it was a fun time. And literally, we barely watched Money in the Bank. We watched a little bit because it was supposed to be broadcast there. They told us it was, and then we got there, as we're getting our table, and we asked the guy, "Are you playing Money in the Bank?" And the guy had no idea. And it wasn't broadcast. Literally,
the guy's like, "Huh?"
And literally on their their
screens, the
there's little advertisement screen, they just advertise different stuff on there. Or on the side, and it's advertising other pay-per-views they're showing, other wrestling pay-per-views. But for some reason, they just didn't show this one. So we're just watching on Viviani's phone. We're just we tuned in just in time to see the John Cena part. But most of the night we just stayed playing games, and I spent way too much money there. I put way too many because you load up your armband.
Yeah,
and I put.
That's how they get you, because it doesn't. You're just in it, right? You're in it when you go to places like that where they're you got to load up an armband or a game card or something like that. You're just I just need more credit. You don't. All of a sudden, you spend $80, and you're like, "What the hell did I just?"
Exactly what happened.
What was that? $80. I've been here for 40 minutes,
and I got some Tootsie Rolls because I suck at these games.
Yeah. My best game was the beer pong game, the one that actually took skills. Yeah, they had 2 different versions of a beer pong game. They had a more advanced one.
I'm a beer pong legend, bro. I call it Beirut because I'm a purist.
But literally,
it's
the only one that actually takes actual skill that isn't some weird luck. That there's one point where I was just locked in and I got every cup super quick.
Unbelievable.
Killed it.
Hells yeah.
So then, all right. Well, Sunday, Lawrence and I you know, Zach heads home on Sunday, so it's just Lawrence and I. We're going to NXT at night, but we went to there was an independent. It was only their third show ever called Northern Crown. Mike from Indeed was kind of like, you guys should go to this show kind of thing. So we ended up getting 2 tickets. It was at a brewery. So Lawrence and I decided we were going to go down a little earlier, get some drinks. Money in the drink part 2, beer pong. I will destroy everyone at beer pong. I'm a legend. Front cup JP. That's what they used to call me, front cup JP. But anyway, so we go to Northern Crown. It's their third show ever. We're there. Before the show, we got the luxury of meeting Cole Radrick, Calvin Tankman. They were great guys. They hung out with me and Lawrence for a little bit of time. Very, very cool. We had a few beers. I also got to meet another content creator, Nick. He's a great guy from Canada. He was there with his dad for the weekend, so I got to meet him. We follow each other on Twitch and stuff. He watches along a lot of the WWE stuff, so he's a good lookout. I'll throw his name on socials if you guys want to go follow him. He's a good dude. So I met up with him for a little bit, and then Northern Crown started. Now, this was their third show ever. Northern Crown 3, and I could make an argument that was the best wrestling show I went to all weekend. I could make an argument.
Oh, nice.
I could make an argument for it. It was an excellent show. It was very well put together. The opening match was Calvin Tankman versus Gabriel Forza. Humped. Yeah. That match ruled. It was for the Deadlock Championship, right? Deadlock Wrestling.
Pro. Yeah.
What, Deadlock Pro? Deadlock Pro Championship.
I think, yeah.
That match ruled. And then, you know, there were good matches throughout. Jody Threat wrestled on that show.
Yeah, and a really fun scramble.
Yeah. There was a really good scramble in there. It was hot in that building, though. It was hot in that building. But then the main event was Josh Alexander versus Von Vertigo. We'll talk about that later. We're not talking about that right now. Yes, the Deadlock Pro Wrestling World's title. That was on the line. Calvin Tankman defended it and retained it against Forza. But the main event was Josh Alexander versus Von Vertigo. And that match was great. Josh Alexander ended up getting the victory. And then he cut a post-show promo. We saw a lot of good angles to end shows this week. He cut a post-show promo. He put Northern Crown over. And then Von Vertigo was still in the ring. He called out Gabriel Forza. And he said, and he said the line that I put on Twitter that got a little bit of eyes, but he said the line, he goes, "My time on the indies is soon coming to a close." And everyone was started chanting NXT, and Lawrence, there
was like basically right after that, the whole crowd, everyone, NXT. One dude in a Moxley shirt. AEW, all elite. It's the saddest thing ever.
NWA,
MLW.
It was good. It was good. So that happens, and then he says that line, and everyone's like, "Oh crap, wow!" And then he goes, "And I've been doing this for 20 years. A lot of people consider me, the Canadian, kind of indie guy. I'm the top guy here in Canadian indies, and I've been looking for people to step up to kind of take the mantle from me." And in the moment, everyone's like, "Oh, he's going to put these two guys over as like the next two guys and all this." And he walks over to him, and he just goes, as he's walking over to him, it looks like they're going to embrace, and he just goes, "And I haven't found him yet." And he just beats the shit out of Gabriel Forza and Von Vertigo. Oh. Referees are coming down. The three dudes that run the show are coming down. Alexander has the mic. He goes, "Get in here. What are you going to go? What are you going to do?" He goes, "I will fuck every one of you up." And I have never seen Josh Alexander act this way. I've only seen him as a babyface, really, on the times that I've seen him.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I will fuck you up." He's like, "Come in here. Nobody can stop me." One of the three guys that runs Northern Crown gets in there, and he gives him a spinning tombstone pile driver. And then he grabs the mic, and he goes, as far as I'm concerned, I am the Northern Crown heavyweight champion, and I will forever be the Northern Crown heavyweight champion. And the guy's unconscious, and he just goes, and if you want to do something about it, find somebody who's good enough to take this from me. And he just left. And that was it.
Yeah.
It was a hot mega heel angle. I loved it. I loved it.
I did talk to Joel when we got to NXT, and I was right with my what I assumed is Josh Alexander does still have a year left on his Impact contract, his TNA contract.
So there you
go. This is clearly him setting up a year-long angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had that. So that was really good. And then Lawrence and I got to go to NXT for Heatwave. And I could make the argument that NXT Heatwave was a little bit better than Money in the Bank.
Yep.
I thought NXT Heatwave was incredible from start to finish. I thought it was
banger after banger.
I thought so.
Banger. It was only 2.5 hours.
It was beautiful. I thought the opening match between Wesley and Obafemi was excellent. You could tell that Obafemi was a little gassed at the end, though. This was his first long form singles match, and you could tell at the end of the match he was a little gassed. But I thought it was excellent. I thought that was really good. I thought Kalani Jordan and Sol Ruka was very good. I'm glad that they gave them time to ball out and do some good stuff, and I thought they killed it. That tag match might have been the best match WWE put on all weekend.
Yeah.
That tag match was incredible with Chase U and Nathan Frazier and Axiom. That tag match. And Nathan Frazier and Axiom, what a tag team they are.
Yeah.
Truly.
I thought Chase U was going to do it.
I thought Chase U was going to do it too.
I picked him.
Yeah.
It is what it is. No, it was a good show. It was hopping. I'm just watching it at home. It was you couldn't look away. There are NXT shows and events sometimes where you're I can miss this here. No, this was all bangers, dude.
Yeah.
I was very impressed.
Yeah. And then
I thought fucking Page, man.
Yeah. I thought the 4-way, obviously, Roxanne Perez and oh my god. Yeah, that was a good match too. But that 4-way was really, really good. Javon Evans, dude. Javon Evans, that guy was the MVP of that match.
Yeah.
He was everywhere in that match. And
he got murdered.
Huh?
Yeah.
And he got murdered.
Yeah, and he got murdered, basically.
Yeah.
Murder is all the rage in wrestling.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. I like the ending too, Dustin. I thought it was the only part of the ending is and I guess he explained it on Tuesday, but doesn't Ethan Page want to win that world title too?
You mean Spears?
Oh yeah, what did I say?
Yeah,
Sean Spears. Yeah, it felt like he cared more about Trick losing than him winning.
We're doing it for former AEW guys.
Yes, but
Royal Canada, baby.
I very much liked the ending. I thought it was clever the way they did it with the trick shot being hit on both Evans and Ethan Page, but then Spears kind of holding him out, and that's how Ethan Page wins. He gets his moment, and Ethan Page, the new NXT heavyweight champion.
Let's be honest, it's not like Sean Spears has anything else going on, so he might as well let his boy win the title, and maybe he could be his henchman or something.
You think?
Maybe. Team Canada, but even though Ethan Page was I reside in the U.S. now. So let's get down to business. The Heatwave was dope, but did they waste a cash-in at Money in the Bank?
Well, that's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So,
Lawrence, before he goes off.
Yeah, you go.
You go, because it sounds like he's raring to go.
Well, no. I honestly, as the, I don't think it was wasted because, it served a narrative purpose. They basically he said exactly what he was going to do with it. There was no surprises there. And we just had a long men's Money in the Bank, just held it on forever. So it's a good way for the people who don't like the Money in the Bank thing that gets it out of the way quickly, so you don't have to focus about it all year. And it also puts more of a focus on the women's one this year, which I find interesting. Everyone's going to be wanting Tiffany Stratton When is she going to cash it in? Who is she going to cash it in on? So there's a lot of interest there, and it puts the spotlight more on her, which I like. I honestly I don't hate it. Like it if it was like out of nowhere or like a stupid cash in, or like out of character for somebody, just like randomly, like somebody just randomly cash in for no reason, or like for like some match he's clearly gonna lose, like that I find is dumb. But like this, he makes sense that he wanted to beat both those guys.
Yeah,
like it made complete narrative sense, and how it ended like also made sense. Was like the inevitable conclusion of Punk once again continue his promise to make sure he never wins the title. Like I think it helps once again putting more fire on that feud, and two feuds too, because it helps like start heating up him and Seth. Like after Monday, you saw like it like the Punk's next few months are set up so nicely that you've got now with one move, with one cash in, you've set up two feuds for him. So I don't think it's wasted. I think it served its purpose. It like not every Money in the Bank has to be like 6 months or a thing or like lead to a title win. As long as it's like it makes sense and it doesn't make the person look too stupid. Yeah, like you can cash in for a loss. I think this is one of like the better like cash in for losses we've seen.
Yeah, and I think it served like a layer, like and it gave Seth the reason on Monday to be pissed at Punk. It gives Drew obvious reasons to be pissed. And in a weird way, it kind of gives, once Priest gets done with the stuff with Judgment Day, kind of give him the reason to be mad at Punk too, because the whole narrative there was he couldn't do it without help, and he's always getting lucky, and Punk just furthered that narrative even more. And he should have kicked out, but hey, whatever. That was weird.
That thing was weird.
But either way, what do you think, JPJ? I know you said you wanted to talk about this.
Well, for me, okay. So I went in thinking that, like, I agree with Lawrence. Like, Drew laid it out for everybody. He was very clear when he said, I'm winning Money in the Bank, I'm cashing in, and I'm leaving Money in the Bank as the World Heavyweight Champion. He was very clear.
Yeah.
And then, so I didn't think he was going to win Money in the Bank, to be honest with you.
You thought Punk would have done it there.
I thought Punk was going to screw him during the Money in the Bank match. Now, and I get it, if you're one of those people that likes Money in the Bank and you like that chase and you like stuff like that, like, yeah, I can understand. But guess what? Like, wasn't it like up until last year, basically every year the women's Money in the Bank was cashed in within like 3 or 4 days? Like, it was, like Lawrence said, it's cool. Like, now the only Money in the Bank there is on the ladies' side. And it's like, ooh, all right, now we get to wonder for an extended period of time what's going to happen on that side, where it felt like, anyway. Yeah. Once he won, that I was like, okay, well, Punk's going to screw him out of the world title thing. But I agree with everything you guys said. I thought the multiple layers are what made it okay for me. If they didn't do it the way they did afterwards, but I thought, you added even more heat to this Punk Drew feud, which, I mean, I didn't think you could get more heat on it, but you did. And now you got Seth and Punk, and I thought Seth and Punk absolutely crushed it on Monday Night Raw, specifically Seth. But I thought they were both great. And now CM Punk has to worry about Seth Rollins effing his stuff up the same way that Punk's been doing Drew. So it just adds into this.
Because it's not like Seth's got a lot
going
going on
after
right now.
Drew, but Seth's going to be preventing Punk from get to Drew. And, it's like this whole thing that's going on.
Yeah, and it's like I talked last night with the Pro Wrestling Junkies. Shout out to them for having me on their show. And they made it used to be, you're the challenger, you're the champ. That's over. We're moving on to the next thing. Nobody discusses world titles that aren't in the actual world title story. And now it feels like there's 5 or 6 guys that are just orbiting around Damian Priest right now on Raw. Yeah. And there's so many ways they can go. Like the way Punk looked at that belt at Money in the Bank, it's like, ooh. And then then I'm thinking maybe Drew actually does pull this off and they win and they go Punk Drew.
Speaking of Drew,
and then Gunther's just chilling. He's got
his name, and he
say his name.
Say his name.
I believe
we're gonna do this.
Nicholas.
I saw Drew raising his hand, so I assume he wanted to talk about this. Drew,
Speak on it, Drew. Hey, what's up, my firmly AEW co-host?
What's up?
We're the last firmly AEW that went off.
We'll be back next week, normal time. It's been a long week of traveling,
and we drew, baby. We drew. No pun intended. That was a draw, son. Anyway, go on.
Did we?
I
didn't notice that. That's
I looked. It was a good one.
So
True. I like real quick that you put in this private chat. I'm raising my hand.
Yeah. I had because I was going like this, but I didn't know if maybe my because I'm white and I blend in with the background, so I thought maybe you couldn't see. I rarely get to talk WWE also because I mainly just have an AEW podcast, but I have, other projects on the side that I do. I did not like it at all.
The pay-per-view itself or the Money in the Bank?
I didn't like the handling of the Money in the Bank. Now, I understand the story. Like what I came in right as JPJ started talking about it, so I get that. I get that it was used to continue to further the story of Punk and Drew. I get that. And then add in the wrinkle of Seth Rollins on top of it. I get it. However, here's what let me throw this at you and see what you think about this. I thought it was Jey Uso's time to shine. Honestly. Yeah. I really thought it was him. I thought it was going to be him. But I can see, really you could make a case for anybody in that match to win it.
Yep.
Because everybody, with the exception of maybe Andrade, sorry, Andrade.
Don't be sorry. He don't.
That's speed champion Andrade. Yeah. Show some respect.
Show that. Put respect on that man's name.
WWE speed champion Andrade. I know
they have done so little with him that when his music hit, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's Andrade's music."
Yeah. So, I really think you could have made a case for almost everybody to win in that match, but I think that there was a better story that could have been told with Jey Uso winning it.
Yeah.
Now, the Jey Uso... So let me break down that part first. Jey Uso wins Money in the Bank, but nobody gets cashed in on it that night. Jey is obviously going to be brought back into the Bloodline story.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jey Uso has the Money in the Bank briefcase, and Cody Rhodes is the champion. Now, Cody and Jey have been tag team champions already. They've always been on the same side since Cody was going after the Bloodline, and the Bloodline were going after him. Except, I think maybe that first, couple of months before Jey finally left. Or was that before? I don't remember now. My timeline is wonky.
I think it was.
But
might have been before. I don't know.
Might have been before. Well, anyway, for the most part, he's been on Cody's side, or he's been a babyface at least. Now, with all the stuff that happened over the past few months with the Bloodline and Cody, I wouldn't trust an Uso. I wouldn't trust a Samoan at all. Now, Cody is the WWE champion. All of a sudden, here comes the Money in the Bank winner, conveniently on my side.
Get him.
There's this new story there, a new wrinkle into that of, I don't know if I can actually trust him, because is he going to turn coat and rejoin the Bloodline like he's done in the past?
Possible. Yeah. I think he would be on the good guy Bloodline, though.
Well, this is before the establishment of Roman.
Yeah.
Does Roman come back?
Yeah, we're going to see him come back in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
I think
we're seeing him come back in Cleveland.
Yeah, I think
so. So we got to figure out what they're all doing. The new Bloodline.
They're going to do War Games. That's Survivor Series, I guess.
But I'm saying at SummerSlam, what are they doing at SummerSlam?
Oh, it's going to be Solo and Cody
Yeah.
for the title.
Okay.
That's what I would think.
Yeah, it hasn't been officially announced, but yeah,
No.
I figured, yeah.
So, so my continuation of that is Seth, Cody, doesn't trust Jay, but is like, okay, all right. He's looking over his shoulder, not realizing that there's somebody else on his other side. that's been eyeing him the whole time, as we've seen.
Yeah, it should be
so.
SummerSlam opponent.
SummerSlam, maybe the first match or somewhere along the beginning of the card, we get Seth and we get Gunther and Damian. Now, Gunther wins.
Obviously.
Right, which we know is going to happen.
Yeah. No one's cashing in on Gunther.
No one can cash in on Gunther.
Nope.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but at least to that point, we know we can do fun stuff with Money in the Bank because Jay and Gunther have also had, back and forth in the past few months. Now, here's why I say Drew. Absolutely, this was the bad thing to do. There was no need for the briefcase to be involved in the story at all, because Drew could have just been in that match in the first place. He had legitimate gripe, and I would say the right mindset to go and consistently needle Adam Pearce and say, screw Money in the Bank. I don't need to win a match to then win a match to win the title. I should be in the title match at Money in the Bank because I deserve it. How many times has this guy come and screwed me over when I'm in a title match and he gets no repercussions for it?
No. He ain't allowed.
Put me in that match. Now you can still have Punk come back at the end of the match when he's about to win, attack him, and then Damian pin Seth, just like they did. Just like or pin Drew, actually pin Drew. You can do it the same exact way with Punk's interference in that, because you can still tell the story of Seth being screwed also with Drew in the match, because he's coming into an already stipulated match between the two of them. Like, well, okay, fine. None of you, Drew can come in and say, you know what? If I win, neither of you get the challenge for this title while I'm champion.
Could have.
Yeah.
And then they do the same thing at Money in the Bank where Punk screws them anyway. Imagine Jey Uso with that briefcase. Imagine Mello with that case.
I would have preferred, if you didn't go the route that you did on Saturday, I would have preferred to go to somebody like not Jey Uso, like Carmelo, like an Andrade, like a Santa, like somebody that it would elevate them to a different level. Like my thing when it comes to Jey Uso is at some point,
showing his butt.
At some point, if you're going to treat him like he's a top, Lou, for the love of God, if you're going to treat him like he's a top guy, and you're going to try to tell us that he's a top guy, you're going to put him on your posters, you're going to put him on your thing, you need to pull the trigger on Jey Uso and let him win something that matters.
Exactly.
Because every big match that he's been in, he has not won. Hi, bud. Yeah, you want to get on air? Yeah, okay. Yeah. He has not won. And again, I know he was the favorite coming in because he was on the Money in the Bank posters and everything like that and things of that nature. But I did not think he was going to win. I wasn't shocked that he didn't win. That was not what I thought was going to happen. I would have preferred, and this is just a complete homer pick, I would have preferred Carmelo to win. I think that I like it when you put it on somebody like Tiffany Stratton's the perfect winner for Money in the Bank, because she is clearly someone that we all know is destined to be a main player for a long time. She's already good, and this is them saying, hey, we know too she's going to be a future world champion. And I look at that on the men's match, and I'm like, to me, the people that were in that match that fit that bill was somebody like Carmelo Hayes. To me, I would make an argument that Stratton is a little bit higher on a level from the way she's been presented than Carmelo. But yeah, and again, and like overall, I think the Money in the Bank briefcases on both sides have been lackluster the last handful of years. So I can understand the argument of why people are bummed that maybe the briefcase was gone on the same night. But I think it was, once they decided to do it, I thought they moved things forward with it. So I was all right.
I'm hoping that Tiffany Stratton gets treated better than the past women's Money in the Bank.
And I think that, and Lawrence said it earlier.
No Money in the Bank, women's Money in the Bank has ever lost. So they've been
that is
pretty
true.
good.
I don't think she will either. However,
no, I'm not saying for that.
No, I
for her
know.
too. Yeah,
but
I know
and then my thing is,
I'd have gave it to Chelsea and had Chelsea lose, and that'd be the first one. And
well, Chelsea was the MVP of that match.
Yeah,
Chelsea
like
was an absolute star in that match. What she did, not even just the big massive bump at the end, but that whole match, she was the glue, and clearly the crowd favorite. That match ruled. The Michinoku driver that Io Sky gave to Zoe Stark right before this table spot with Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
That bump was insane.
Man.
Insane when that happened. I was like, oh! And then the table spot with Chelsea, kind of the TNA callback was it was great. That was the best match on the show, the women's Money in the Bank match, I thought. I thought all the matches were good though. But I thought that was the best match on the show. It was a very, very, very good show, I thought. And I'm glad, I think this is going to be the first time we're going to see, because it is the only briefcase left, where like the women's Money in the Bank is getting the spotlight. And I think, if you're one of those people like Drew who wasn't a huge fan of the way they did it, I do think it's going to be cool to have the Money in the Bank spotlight be on the women's side of things for once, because it always has kind of felt like it was the secondary briefcase of the two. And I feel like now it's the only briefcase, and it's on a legitimate future star that we know is a legitimate future star. I think it's going to be fun, and I trust right now Triple H has the benefit of my doubt that I think he'll treat it well, and he'll do it well. I think.
Well, that's subjective. But,
yeah, we'll see.
He didn't do good with the men's, in my opinion. But hopefully he does good with the women.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of Lawrence. Did we miss anything on the weekend?
No, I think we got.
You met that massive hog carrying member, Big Ben Orton.
Oh yeah, we got to meet. I got to meet Zach for the first time in person. I got to meet Lawrence. I got to meet Big Ben Ortman. I got to meet Mike from Indeed. I got to meet Jeremy Lambert for the first time. Emily. It was a good weekend.
Somebody in here, or two people in here, were on In the Weeds.
Yeah.
We were, yes.
We were.
Me and Lawrence got to be on In the Weeds.
Okay.
I'm surprised they let us in their presence, Drew.
Yeah.
I'm not. They're good people. They're very good people. Jeremy
We try.
and Joel.
We try our best. You should see
No, I
Lawrence
meant
off
you and
camera.
I getting in
What a jerk.
JPJ
Oh,
Lawrence's presence. Yeah.
And they're present. Oh,
Big stars, Lawrence and JPJ letting us lead.
we are not worthy.
Yeah.
We are not worthy.
We joked on Firmly AEW last week that you were gonna, because we're gonna become super famous, and I was gonna become the new Firmly
Marty
AEW.
Jannetty?
Yeah. New
Well,
co-host.
I mean, you joke, but it is $40 for a selfie.
We were charging it.
Yeah.
Although Lawrence did say pre-show that you were going to rob me in Cleveland. That's the whole shtick. You're just
Then I was going to rob you?
Yeah, I'm going to show up in Cleveland and you're just going to rob me.
Why would I rob you?
I don't know. I don't have anything.
Because you're from Boston.
Hey,
That's what
sometimes-
people in Boston
I'll
do.
have the towels. I'll have all the stuff.
Hopefully our
sometimes-
Airbnb has the towels, to be honest.
Sometimes it's your
Doesn't, I'm gonna be
friends that do it,
shocked.
Jam. So,
Jesus. Lawrence,
by the way,
as
what
always,
would
my
have-
friend, it was awesome hanging around with you this weekend. Hopefully we get to do it a lot sooner than it took this time. Lawrence is going to the Slammiversary show in a couple weeks, so I'm jealous, but he's going to be doing some more Love Wrestling cool stuff with Zach at Slammiversary in a few weeks. So
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited. That show looks so cool. Like
Lawrence, plug your stuff before you get out of here, man.
You can catch me this Sunday back on the brunch. We've got a big show coming for you. We're going to recap everything. We're going to probably talk a little bit more about the week we've had. And I'm going to make sure no one mentions Marko Stunt ever again.
My man. Wow. I thought he was going to kick you out. He decided to yeet himself off this show.
No, I took him out.
But Lawrence, thanks a lot for
Damn you,
popping
Lawrence!
on.
Damn you!
Yeah,
We
yeah.
pay you, Lawrence. We pay you. You work for us.
Lawrence
man.
is a good one. Lawrence is a good one.
By the way,
was fun.
just one thing.
Yeah.
'Cause I forgot to mention it before. Imagine the merchandise numbers on a Yeet in the Bank briefcase.
It's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Did you guys see though, like real quick before we dive into all the happenings that was AEW this week, but like they sold ad space on the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Did they?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it back with commentary. I'm probably
look
going to
at
do
the-
it at some point.
Look at the pictures of Drew and look at the pictures when he won. They sold some ad space at the bottom. So the Money in the Bank briefcase is officially sponsored. And then also they made the Money in the Bank winner t-shirt, and that thing probably went clearance pretty quick.
Well, before the show,
Could
they
you imagine
wanted
buying that thing and then him losing it 30
I
seconds later?
never buy shirts like that.
no, they got Huggy Bear popping in. All good. Hope you have a good night. Catch the replay. Let us know what you think, man. We saw Colt pop in here earlier as well, sending his regards.
Papito!
All right. Now we're going to transition over because, boy, oh, boy, let me tell you. All right. So, I mean, there's no sugarcoating it. We got to talk about the ending of that show last night because let me tell you. First of all, I thought last night's Dynamite was very good. I thought it was a very good Dynamite. This is two really good Dynamites in a row. Two really, really good Dynamites in a row. It seems like, knock on wood, maybe they're hitting a stride here as we get to All In. I like a lot of stuff that we saw. We're going to dive into most of the stuff here. But, I mean, we can't. I feel like there's no other way to start. The main event of Dynamite last night was Mariah May and Willow Nightingale in the finals of the Owen Hart Cup Memorial Tournament. They had a great match to main event this show. And that match saw Mariah May become victorious and win the Owen Hart Memorial Cup. And in the ring, her and Toni Storm start to celebrate. She jumps in Toni Storm's arms. They're holding hands. They leave the ring. Mariah May is running up the ramp to the belt. Toni Storm is skipping happily behind her. Mariah May unhooks the Owen Hart Championship that they give them, and she turns around and she wallops Toni Storm right over the head and whips her with the belt. Toni Storm is busted open. She starts hitting Luther with the belt. She knocks him off the stage through a table. And Toni Storm is busted open, and she grabs, Mariah May grabs one of the shoes, and she grabs the heel of that shoe, and she, man, these look stiff as hell. These looked stiff as hell. She hit Toni Storm repeatedly in the head, and Toni Storm's face was legitimately covered in blood. A crimson mask as JR used to say.
Hells yeah.
And Mariah
Hotter.
May kissed her on the forehead. She rubbed the blood all over her. My God, what an angle to close this show. What a heel turn by Mariah May. I expect, obviously I expected Mariah May winning that last night, which I think we kind of all expected. I expected that to start the dissension between these two. Maybe even Mariah May got the victory at All In, and then she turned or somebody turned. But holy moly, I did not see it coming the way it came last night, but I loved it. It was so good. That was some of the best storytelling AEW has done in a minute. That was fantastic, that heel turn. It got me. I literally, I was on the couch. I stood up out of my seat. I couldn't believe it. I was not expecting it at all. At all.
No, I was on a watch along on the show, and she's skipping. Tony is Mariah skips up she runs up the thing, and then I remember saying, when's Tony gonna remember that means that she's facing her at All In, and starts getting scared about that because she was like just totally happy for her and everything. And I'm thinking like, wait, did she not realize that
Yeah,
now
she was
means
hoping for
that
the finger poke of doom.
who knows? We'll find out eventually what Tony Storm was thinking. But so Mariah grabs the belt, and it was like watching it like a YouTube video of like something, those compilations of like the moment when something bad is about to happen. It's like it was in that moment.
In that moment, he realized he fucked up. Like that like tough stuff.
And she just clocks her in the face with that belt. It was
unbelievable.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. It's unbelievable. And it was not expected. I don't think anybody saw that coming.
No. I think we all knew that this was going to start.
No, yeah, we knew
like that's what we knew, but they just right away hot shotted it. Boom. It's happening right now. And then like Ab Guy says, the way that was violent and it was just brutal.
It was one of the more brutal segments in the women's division for this company. Besides like that Britt and Thunder Rosa match and the Bunny getting that crimson mask and that show that competed with SmackDown for a little bit. Like, this was legitimate beating. She took that belt and she walloped Tony Storm with it. And Luther. Like, Luther didn't even need to be involved.
Nope.
She was just like, fuck you, buddy. And she's smacking him with the belt, too. And then sends him off the stage into the table. Like, it was just a complete dismantling of timeless Tony Storm and everything around her. Her Luther, her butler, her friendship with Mariah May. Just a complete dismantling. And the key thing that's going to come out of this, too, is what did she beat Tony Storm with?
Shoe. Watch for the shoe.
Tony didn't watch for the shoe.
Watch for the shoe.
And just, it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. It was
unbelievable.
Brian, that's grosser than blood.
Ew.
He said it was ketchup.
About that being ketchup. It was one of the best ending of Dynamite this year. Honestly, it might be the best ending of Dynamite this year.
Oh yeah, it was, man. That it was as good a show, like as good an angle that they've run in AEW in a minute. in a minute. And I think part of the reason is, A, it was just a well-crafted angle. But I think another part of it is they have been treating Mariah May since the second she showed up on our screen with purpose. There has been purpose to everything she has done from a storyline perspective since the first time we saw her. And, we are still I am still very much pro AEW, and I don't believe those idiots that always say AEW doesn't tell stories. But there's a difference between the level of stories that AEW tells. And this story has been being told since the second we saw Mariah May, and it all led to that moment last night. And I thought it was perfectly executed. And I thought it was just, man, Pluggo. I mean, what were you thinking when you watched? It was gruesome, dude. That was gruesome. Those shots with that shoe looked, like I said, they looked stiff as hell. They looked like she was crushing her. Man. Mariah May is the best sign. I mean, go ahead, Pluggo. Like, geez Louise, man.
She's good. I know, like, you guys are kind of talking about it too, like the story, the ending. This is the funny thing. This is the beginning. She hasn't even told us why she did it yet. And I'm already like, I can't wait for them to go. Mariah May is appearing next week on.
Did you see the video of that they posted on Twitter?
No, I have not.
Oh my God! It's just Mariah walking down the steps, and the cameraman's like asking her, like, "Why'd you do it, Mariah?" And she just has this gaze with the blood on the side of her face from Tony. She just has this gaze and this little smile, and she just pushes the camera out of the way. And then they show Tony coming down the stairs, being helped by the referees, and just blood everywhere, and nobody's even asking her any questions, and she sits down on the stairs and just puts her head back on the stair with such grace and elegance. It's just it's beautiful. It was probably the best way to immediately follow up on this. Nobody said anything.
Yeah, but if you spend your whole AEW career just being Tony Storm's understudy, and basically your gears, hers, your music, all of it, here's your shot. You might as well. I thought they would wait it out. I thought there would be like a different time, but they went right for it. I'm here for that. That was cool. I thought the match with her and Willow was dope. Mariah May's been killing it, man. So I'm all in on this story. It was fantastic. Fantastic.
It was excellent. And
I'm putting the link to it in the private chat, so this way you guys can enjoy that when we're done. I mean, hey, if you wanted to play it now, I'd fucking watch it again because it's that amazing.
No, I saw it a little early. It was really, really good. Hold on 1 second. So next week, we're going to talk about other stuff that happened on Dynamite, but next week we have Dynamite 250. And they are not kidding around when it comes to Dynamite 250, because this show started with Will Ospreay. He comes out, he addresses what we saw last week from MJF, talks down to MJF a little bit, and then we see MJF show up on the screen, and he says, "No, I'm not there." He goes, "I'm not there. These people don't deserve to see me, and I don't want to smell their stench." That's what he said. What a jerk. And he challenges Will Ospreay to an international title match next week on Dynamite. And Will Ospreay accepts. So we are getting this MJF Will Ospreay match. I thought it would be all in, and it might still be. But we're getting this match next week on Dynamite 250. Starting the show. And then later on Dynamite last night, we see the AEW World Heavyweight Champion announce that he is on Team AEW in Blood and Guts, which is happening 2 weeks from last night. But he also says that next week on AEW Dynamite 250, he wants to go one-on-one with Okada.
Oh, yeah.
So next week for Dynamite 250, we already know that we're seeing Ospreay versus MJF for the international title, and we are seeing Swerve Strickland versus Kazuchika Okada. That is 2 monster matches for next week. Holy moly! I can't believe it. I can't believe
it's gonna be quite a
spoiled,
show.
man. Wrestling's killing it.
I can't believe it. But I mean, we would be reminisce. So we talked about the main event, which was the finals in the Owen Hart tournament on the women's side, and obviously the angle that happened after that. Well, this show started. Oh yes, and we are getting we'll talk about
who's going to answer the open challenge.
I think it's going to be Natalya.
You think so?
Natalia?
That's my pick. Yeah.
Oh, they're still in Canada next week, right?
That I'm not 100% sure of. I do not know. I think maybe. I'm not sure. But I think it's going to be Natalya. She's not under contract. If you remember when Mercedes came back from a long injury, it was Natalya that she came out to and beat her up. I think it's going to be Natalya.
Little Rock.
Maybe it'll be Marko Stunt.
Maybe, but I think it's going to be Natalya. I think they're going to do a callback.
Let me
and
just
it's going to
tell
be
you,
Natalya.
just really quickly, I am so fucking happy for you. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
Where were you when he returned?
What was I doing? Oh well, I was on the Money in the Bank watch along. But you remember we talked about him last Thursday.
I talk about
him every show.
I said I have to go back and click
yeah, he did. He actually was like, that's not a bad idea.
I said like, oh man, I really, really hope that it happens for you, Pluggo. I really hope it happens for you one day. I got to go back and find it, because that just made my heart jump. So happy for you.
I wish I had the forefront to like record every time I mention it and just make a montage of like Marko Stunt's return, and then just like put it to the world and be like, see, told you. But I didn't have that kind of forefront.
Yeah.
But Misfits saying, according to Fightful, Natty is still with WWE. Maybe, but I know a lot of those contracts had come up, like Dijax and Ricochets of the world, and it would be weird to not see Natty as part of the WWE, but crazier things had happened. And if she, just based on the like vibe you get when you watch all those like documentaries and the Total Divas and all that kind of, she wants to wrestle. So she, if WWE is like, listen, we don't really have anything for you, I wouldn't put it past her to go somewhere else and wrestle. So I'd be down with that. Okay, so if Natty was out, let's just say Misfits right here, she's with WWE. Is there anyone on the roster that you'd want to see step to Mercedes? Because it won't be Britt, because I think that's the all-in match.
Yeah, that's all in.
So, and then I like the Hater coming back at all in makes sense, but she used to be running mates with her. Maybe it's Rebel, Reva. A DMD disciple. I'm just trying to think of things that would make sense to further the Britt Baker
Serena Deeb thing. They could do the Serena Deeb thing.
Thunder Rosa would be kind of cool.
I believe Athena is injured. She's out for a long time. I thought
would be dope.
That would be incredible if they ran that back. I would like to see that in the future.
You could,
but
do,
I thought Athena's hurt.
You could do Saraya.
You could do that. You could do that.
And do that kind of callback.
I know a lot of people wouldn't feel great about that, but that would have some history to it.
But I also think in a lot of ways, though, that would mend, because that was always like, Mercedes ruined Saraya's career. It'd be a big coup in Mercedes or Saraya's cap to be like, I'm past it. Here, we're going to have this kick-ass match on Dynamite. Everything's dope. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be kind of a fun, feel-good moment. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure who they've got, but
yeah. So
Athena was tweeting about it, Ophelia said.
All right, well, then never know. And especially if Misfit's saying that it's a work injury, you never know. You never know. We'll have to see. I'm still hoping it's Natty, but we'll see.
It's going to be somebody big, though, I think, in a return sense, because I think
what about what about Camille?
Ooh, don't tempt me with a good time.
What about Camille? How do you feel about Camille?
Megan Bain. She's been rumored to be on
Megan Bain is also so at that GCW show in Toronto. She was on that card. She fought Jody Thread, and that was my first time seeing Megan Bain.
She's fantastic.
Really ever.
She's fantastic.
She walked out and this is no offense to anybody else at GCW. It was a great card. It was a great show. She walked out, and I said, that is the most put together. Like, that's a TV star. Like, she should be on television every week. Every week she should be on television.
Well, I think
immediately she walked out.
Well, I think she was in talks with.
I thought it was AEW.
She was in talks with AEW, and I think that the conversation was kind of based on just what my very baseline knowledge of this was just kind of like get some more reps in the States, and we don't really have anything for it. And she went the GCW route, and she's been killing it over there.
Yeah,
man. She had a banger with Joey Janela a few weeks back. Like, I think she's going to be a star. So whoever gets her, that'd be a big coup in their cap, as they 100%. Say. Speaking of big star signing, Stephanie Vicure leaving.
Oh yeah, we can talk about
NXT
that
after having a banger with Mercedes. That was cool. Like,
yeah, that was
her.
cool. Except all day hearing people on the internet fucking be butthurt that their wrestler didn't go where they wanted them to go. Fucking
but
bums.
I mean, doesn't that happen?
Fucking bums.
Listen, I would if I was Tony Khan. I think I even mentioned it maybe while we were hanging out watching it. I would have gave her the graphic right after that match. It was such a good match with her and Mercedes.
I wouldn't have let her left the building without signing a contract.
Right?
Well, they did offer her a contract,
but
did they offer her one at that show?
I don't know if it was at the show, but they did
I
offer her a contract.
I would have been like, "Hi, great performance. Come sit with me. You're not leaving this office until you sign this contract. I will give you what do you want? What do you want?"
But
she wanted to go to WWE.
Yeah, she wanted to go to WWE, and good. Look I'm all good, dude. I like both. Thumbnails like that.
But which is great for the business that that wrestlers are wanting to go both places. Like, you got Ethan Page jumping ship and winning titles. You got Victoria. Like, it's good for the business. And then Ricochet's coming down the pipe for AEW. There's the rumors of Natty. I mean, it's not like AEW's getting left out in the cold here. Like, everybody's like, oh, hey, the AEW can't sign big stars anymore. I mean, they just signed Okada and Ospreay and Monet all in this year alone. Like,
I wouldn't say
they're fine.
WWE stole Vakura from AEW.
Yeah,
let's say they stole it from CMLL.
Yeah.
That's another story.
Yeah,
I said. And to think the WWE claims they don't watch AEW programming, I bet they watched Forbidden Door, and I bet they went, "Oh, that's a star."
Yeah, They had to have watched that match, or somebody did.
Somebody had to have seen it.
Hey, you might want to check this out because this
she's pretty good.
She's good. She's good. Have guys, CMLL has a reason to not be happy. There was the rumor that she was getting offers from both companies. Once I saw that press release that she was being made to miss her bookings and drop the belts, I was like, she's definitely going to WWE. Like, AEW wouldn't have her drop the belts with New Japan and CMLL. You know what I mean? But like, it is what it is. Listen, at the bottom line is wrestlers are going to do what's best for them and what's best for their lives and their families. But like, yeah. She got her start in CMLL. She's been wrestling all these places. If you have companies like AEW and WWE offering you big money contracts, you're leaving CMLL. Sorry, you are. That's just the way it goes sometimes, or I should say most of the time. So like, I feel bad that she got that. I feel bad for the people that bought tickets to see her. I feel bad for those people that bought tickets to see her.
Yeah.
But like, what you sign up for. If you know that somebody on your roster is gaining interest from these two companies, you have to understand, well, we're losing her. But, it is what it is. But
and I've heard the personal reason. I know Missy brought up I don't know enough about all of that to speak on it.
Yeah.
If there's
reasons, and I need credited sources. I don't know.
Even if there were,
I don't even know.
I didn't hear anything about it. Like,
even if there were credited sources, I haven't done enough research on it to have an opinion on it. And we'll just say if whatever's out there is true, that's unfortunate. But good for Stephanie Victor to get the bag. She's going to jump into an NXT that I think is cooking right now. And AEW will be just fine. I mean, I don't think not having Stephanie there is going to hurt them. It would have been awesome to have her, but they're doing okay. And if Jamie Hayter's coming down the pipe by the end of August, like, my God, right? You got Britt back, you got Jamie back, you got Paige back.
You saw
Paige beat the brakes off of Danielson. That was dope. Like, that show last night was good, man. Like,
if you're talking specifically about the AEW's women's division, we just already talked about at length the closing angle that was around the women's division. Britt Baker coming back and being in this feud with Mercedes is a big time feud and money feud for them as well. I want Mercedes to try to celebrate every week, and Britt Baker just ruin it. Yeah, that's just what I want. But
I don't know of a WWE is broke narrative. I've never heard of that.
Me neither.
I've heard a TKO isn't willing to sign people now.
Yeah, I did. I mean, you remember, you do remember when they were like they weren't signing.
Yeah, they weren't signing people,
and that was around the NXT 2.0 era where they're like, we're gonna build our own stars, and that's where you got all of those names.
But I think we're getting a good mix of it now.
But I also think TKO now they have a little deeper pockets, and maybe they're not re-signing some of these people just to re-sign them because they're like, why keep? And I'm not disrespecting Natty because she's fantastic. She's all around, for all of my accounts, a good person. It's just what value outside of just being a veteran presence does she bring to your product overall? So why sign her to a bag if you don't have to? And then Triple H is probably going like, yeah, the NXT 2.0 thing was cool and all, and we built some good names off of it, but is that really a sustainable model of some of these people? Let's interject them with some Ethan Pages, some Sean Spears. Let's start opening those purse strings because the certain someone's gone now because they were paying for that stuff. They don't have to pay for that anymore. And I think it's awesome. I think wrestling right now, it's fun. It's become we used to talk about AEW being like must see. You have FOMO if you miss it. Hell, WWE's doing it now too. Like it's a different product. Don't get me wrong. It's not the same as AEW.
I'm enjoying watching it.
And the big thing that I saw today was the whole like look at the main women's title and WWE presented to the one in AEW. Both stories are different. Both stories are cooking in their own ways.
I literally tweeted that. I literally saw that. It was like, they showed a picture of like Dom and Liv like straddling each other in the ring, and then it showed the bloody Tony. And it was like, here's the championship in the mainstream and one in the alternative. And I saw that and I was like, yeah, and they're the two best angles on each friggin' show.
Do you realize
who gives a shit?
This is how good wrestling is right now. Is like, and again, this we joke here and we make, but like for AEW viewers, the Marko Stunt storyline with Jungle Boy, like that's a oh shit moment, like kind of cool, right? We haven't even talked about the fact that John Cena's retirement tour is starting. Literally. That's how crazy this bit. Like, if you don't watch Raw, you're missing something. You don't watch NXT, you're missing something. Like, MSK's back together. The Rascals and Joe Hendry were on NXT this week. I think people are just trying to tear down one company and the other one. Just like watch what you watch and let everybody just. It's so cool, man. This is my favorite time right now.
I have come to the realization that I hate wrestling fans.
Wrestling fans are the only people that hate wrestling. That's the thing. Like we're so the internet wrestling community. It's like
I don't hate wrestling. I hate wrestling fans.
Yeah, it's just weird, man.
They're annoying.
Well, that's true. We can all agree that the learning tree sucks. That's sure. We're all there. But 100%. But the rest of it,
I'm 50%.
Yeah, I don't.
It has its goddamn moments because Chris Jericho, whether you like him or not,
I thought that
in a
match
vacuum,
last night was fun. I thought that match was fun.
Yeah, but I'm saying like he's been able to get countless things over for his entire career. There's no surprise. Yeah. So there is a subset of people that enjoy it. Is it for me? Not so much, but I like Brian Keith a lot, so I tolerate it because I like Brian Keith a lot. I'm glad he's getting TV time and not. But yeah, man,
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Right. I'm trying not to make the joke, but I'm just happy to see Brian Keith more on my TV because he's awesome. But I just
I think me and okay, so to start the show last night, we had the men's final of the Owen Hart Memorial Cup tournament. It was Bryan Danielson and it was Hangman Page. And before we dive into this, over the weekend, I know I was doing Money in the Bank things in Toronto, but But if you did not see the promo that AEW released online from Hangman Adam Page after Collision, when he is going nuts, talking about Swerve and his, that was maybe the best promo that I think Hangman has cut in his career. So go out of your way to see that. That thing was a work of art by Hangman Adam Page. And I know Drew's going to disagree with me because Drew has been saying that he doesn't care about storylines. He doesn't care about booking. Bryan Danielson should win the title before he retires. But Bryan Danielson should not have won that match last night. Hangman Adam Page should have won that match last night. And it should be Hangman Adam Page fighting Swerve at All In, not Bryan Danielson.
Is it too early to go back to the Swerve Hangman though?
Yeah. No, it's not. Because
you don't think Hangman's going to have...
They haven't fought since last year or earlier this year. They haven't fought in a long time, and there's unfinished business. And Zach, you're right. Bryan Danielson's going to win it whether he wants to or not. And he doesn't want to win it, but I'm sorry. And I love Bryan Danielson. I'm pro Bryan Danielson. And when he wins the AEW World title, I'll probably cry. And when he retires, I'm going to get emotional. I love Bryan Danielson. Hangman Adam Page should have won. And the main event of All In should be Swerve and Hangman for the world title, not Bryan Danielson and Swerve. So I will leave that, and I will let Drew say his piece because I know he's going to disagree. But I just had to say it. Sorry.
I agree with you.
Oh!
Hey-o.
Drew, don't come on here and let him intimidate you into an opinion.
So here's the funny thing. So I'm watching that match last night, and I was like, I had said all along that that's Hangman's match to win. I felt it. I was like, oh, this is Hangman's going to win because it makes the God Almighty that cat is strong.
Lucha.
Wow. You see that?
He goes, Dad, I can't believe you
strong,
you can't believe you picked Hangman.
Hangman should have won. F this. Just came right in. Excuse me?
He goes, take me off that logo you made, you bum.
Yeah, Lou's like, we're a Danielson family around here, dude.
Yeah,
all right.
Don't you ever.
Daniel, how dare you? Anyway, continue, Drew. I'm sorry.
I am okay with Danielson winning.
Oh, for sure.
But I do realize that to say that, and I'll say that I'm a little bit more biased because the past couple weeks I was floating around a conspiracy theory that I thought was going to happen. And by Hangman not winning that match last night, that meant that my conspiracy was gone. And that is definitely not happening because after not winning that match, he then went to the Bucks and said, all right, I'm in.
Yeah.
And now he's in the Blood and Guts match. And I didn't want him to be in the Blood and Guts match.
Yeah.
So
he flip-flop more than Old Navy, man.
That went against my entire fantasy booking of Ricochet coming into the company, because now we know who the baby faces are going to be in that match.
We know all of them yet, though, officially.
We pretty much do. Yeah. The writing's on the wall.
Yeah,
we can kind of pretty much figure it out. Yeah. It's going to be already who's announced, which is Mark Briscoe and Swerve. It's going to be the Acclaimed.
Yeah,
and going to be Darby.
Fucking Darby, man. So wait, so Paige, he loses and he goes right to the Bucks and says he's in Blood and Guts because Swerve's in it now. So his sole purpose is just to get at Swerve. I know he said he wants to win that world title, but he can't now. So wouldn't he just screw over Swerve at Wembley? Danielson gets a title that he reluctantly doesn't want to win anyway. I mean, I like that. I was cool with Danielson winning because I felt like, why not give me Danielson and Swerve at Wembley for the belt? And this is like his last year. So it makes sense. I mean, I guess I I'd see both of your points. So I think Hangman coming back, he looked like $1 million both weeks he's been back. I like the new presentation. I like the new look. Hell, I've even enjoyed the Jeff Jarrett involvement in all this, and I am like biggest non-Jeff Jarrett guy in the. I just don't like Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff has been totally rehabbed.
But they've made me feel bad.
You can't make him a heel.
So again, another story that I think you could talk me into either one, and I would have been happy with either story that you guys laid out that I would have wanted to happen. So like that's what I like. I like when you can have a discussion and we all don't go, yeah, no, that was predictable. It makes sense. That's I like that there was like, no, that Hangman should have won that shit.
Not working still.
Huh?
Your microphone's not working.
JPJ is not working. Yeah, I thought maybe it was you were talking to me, and I was like, I hear me. JPJ, Lou came in after you talked that shit.
What about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Lou's like, I'm unplugging.
Yeah, Lou just plugged right down the wire.
No, it's going out.
What?
It's like maybe
your volume is low.
Your volume went from like high, like a perfect level, to like low.
Wait, talk again.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
You sound
it's lower than it was before.
Yeah, you sound like you're
hit the bricks.
Fun fact for everybody that's involved: pre-show, JPJ goes, "We have a plan tonight. Here's the plan." And I was like, "We have plans now?" All out the window. Lou is like,
"Don't the plan ruiner.
Don't change the sauce."
You hear me? Can you? Hear
me? Better now.
Okay. Yeah, you're good. So what were you saying? Because you were talking.
I don't even remember. Oh no, I said, "Are you guys ready for the Hangman Page versus Jeff Jarrett rematch at All In?" That's going to be Hangman's match at All In.
You know what?
I wouldn't hate it. Where else?
I wouldn't hate it, honestly.
It's not a bad idea.
Fighting Mark Briscoe or something out of the Blood and Guts match.
Like I said with Drew on Firmly, was that I would have liked to have seen Jeff Jarrett be like, I want you one more time. I wasn't ready because you were the wild card. Not in a heelish way, just like in a baby face, like I know I can do better than the output I did in the Owen. Just give me one more to do it for Owen, and like Hangman beats the shit out of him again. But like that's where I could, and then what happened last night, I could totally see that. You get Jeff Jarrett. I don't know what kind of stranglehold Jeff Jarrett has on Tony Khan though, that he keeps hitting all these spots.
Hab guy, if you'd like to post where that came from, that story, so this way we can all be clued on that would be wonderful. Thank you very much.
I was just straight up surprised. Yeah,
because I don't know what the heck anybody's talking about.
Roosh and Vancouver had a thing, and it according to some of the stuff the little I saw, and it ended, or it was very
like they were dating or something.
I don't know, but all I know is one of them. Yeah, there was some shit. I
literally heard nothing about this. I have no idea what's going on. But anyway, yeah. So I really would like to see another match between the two of them, because
is it really an all-in spot though? Maybe not yet.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of what
I think all in would be good, because
I think it would be a good match. I think honestly the crowd would really get behind Jarrett.
Unlike the
crowd would really be behind him.
I think
unlike SummerSlam that I thought was at the end of August is at the beginning. All In is actually at the end of August. So they do have some time to build some stories if they want to go some certain routes for All In to even make this Jeff Jarrett thing. I can't believe I'm saying this. Make it even more exciting, because
you cannot have him doing what he was doing before this tournament. It's over. He is fully baby-faced at this point. You cannot make him go back to the Jay Lethal and the Sanjay and all the stuff that he was doing.
Can't do it. We also saw last night on Dynamite, Pac won a fatal 4-way to become the number 1 contender for the AEW International Championship. So I don't know if that means that'll happen before All In, because next week the winner of MJF and Ospreay will obviously be the new or the AEW International Champion if Ospreay retains, would Pac then get the match at All In? Or would it happen before? I'm kind of wondering how that will go, to be honest with you, because I feel like MJF and Ospreay, do you think it's just going to be a one-off next week and then that's it? And they're on to different things? Or do you see this as carrying over and making it to All In, like they prolong this?
Ospreay is the international champion. So
yes,
right?
But he's fighting MJF on Dynamite for the title.
Right. Yeah.
I expect Ospreay to win. You expect some nonsense?
I don't think. Yeah, dude.
So then you would think that we will still at All In will get MJF and Ospreay. It'll prolong itself to All In.
Let me tell you this. How excited were you? How excited were you when Ospreay and MJF said we're doing this next week, Dynamite 250, it's going down.
Yeah, dude.
Right. Hear me out. Let me cook. MJF all of a sudden, can't go. Some shenanigans happen, match doesn't happen. Pac steps in or something. MJF gets a lot of heat. We don't get the match. He gets booed more. I don't know. It just felt like, I know it's Dynamite 250, but this does feel like I don't want these guys touching each other till a fever pitch moment at All In. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels too good to be true that that's happening next week.
Sure.
So I feel like MJF in this, not new heel persona, but his reborn heel persona might have some go down where that match does not happen. He doesn't get goated very often.
They don't do that usually.
That's what I'm saying, though. They don't do that usually. So why not do that? Very rare with a guy that if he did it, you'd be like, that motherfucker. It makes sense.
Now, Pac is a babyface right now, right?
I feel like,
Pac's just awesome. But MJF also doesn't get goaded into I'll see you next week very often.
Well, MJF asked him for it, though.
Right. So it's like, okay, what's up? Why are you asking? What's your angle? What are you trying to do here?
Let me pontificate here for a second.
And he goes,
and I have to let my cat out of my room.
And he goes, those dirty little Rock Arkansas doesn't deserve me.
What he's saying, what Pluggo's saying, how about this? MJF pays Pac to do the match instead of him on 250 next week. What about that? Because he was doing that thing where he was paying people to take out people like Rush. He did for Rush. Once he did it for one or two other people. I don't remember. Maybe he goes, okay, that's like you can kind of get around the bait and switchy aspect of it by being like, hey, you know what? Pac won the match to challenge for this already. I'm just slipping a little extra something his way so that he does it this week instead of All In or something.
Yeah. There's a way to do it, maybe not as cut and dry as he just bows out, but I just don't think that this match is going to be like what it could, you know what I mean? I don't think this is it. This is the beginning, in my opinion, of Ospreay MJF. So
yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. This is just a one-off.
Yeah, let's not have a 25-minute, 30-minute banger for the international title where MJF comes up this short. It's like he's gonna do something to get this.
Or maybe it's a good match for a little bit, and then MJF's he thinks he's gonna lose, so he just gets DQ'd and hits him with the chair or something. There's something along those lines where it's like, because I think when they started going this route, I think everybody was like, oh, well, that'll be the All-In match for these guys. It'll be MJF and Ospreay. Then all of a sudden it's happening next week, and it's like, okay, we're doing this next week. Cool. All right.
Yeah. The thing with AEW that they do a lot that I notice is that they'll do this person has just won a title shot for X champion while somebody's already also vying for that championship.
Yeah.
They do that a lot. Yeah. It makes it a little confusing because you're like, oh, well, but that person just won a match to challenge for that. And now the person, that title is already in a feud with somebody else and that has nothing to do with them. So it's a little confusing when they do stuff like that.
But again,
But-
I love this because there's so many possibilities here, man. Like
I feel like, and when we talk about wrestling as a whole, on our way out of here in the next few minutes, I feel like we're in a spot right now where it feels like almost, it feels like anything can happen.
No, you fucked that up.
Why? What do you mean? What did I do?
You're from Boston. If you're
Yeah.
gonna do, I feel like anything can happen. You just gotta
anything is possible.
you just gotta say, I think in wrestling, anything is possible.
No, I mean, but it does feel that way, though, right? Doesn't it? Kind of.
Yeah.
It feels that way, like a little bit.
And that's what I'm saying.
It's just cool.
I like that about wrestling.
See, and here's the thing.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Pluggo. Do your thing first. I was going to ask, how do we feel about him talking about ratings in that promo he cut on Collision?
Fine.
I know that was a big discourse last week.
Listen, I'm fine with it. I look at the ratings. I don't care. I do get a little I do get a little bummed when AEW doesn't have maybe like a big number, because I thought the show kicked ass and I was like, that was really good. But I was just going to say, like, AEW, for better or worse, they're still young. They're doing their thing. I'm not trying to make 100 excuses, but they've been doing this layer thing for quite some time. I mean, when MJF had the title, there was like 5 or 6 guys that were coming after him, and then WWE's doing it too. So that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody's cooking now. They're like the formula. This is like they figured out how to, in an era where dirt sheets are taking over and news sites are taking over, and you know what's going on and you're in the know, they're still finding ways to keep you interested and go, what? That was still cool. I didn't catch that in this, in the Fightful Select report. Shout out to them. They do a fantastic job. It's not a knock. I think that there's a place for all of that in this.
Well, yeah. And I think when you start to get, Triple H said that comment a couple press conferences ago about publications and about things like that and stuff like that, right? And I feel like Triple H and the people that are running WWE, they're trying their best to still surprise people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're trying, and I feel like it's working. Like, I feel like for the most part, like, they're still keeping
the whole run, the first 3 months of this year with that guy in my avatar.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
That
well, just think about, like, they signed Jacob Fatu. We all knew he was coming, and they waited and they waited and they waited, and they debuted him, and you're like, oh, there he is. And yeah, and I wouldn't be shocked if MJF only cared about the Nielsen ratings, because let's be honest, wrestlers, that's important to them, because that means that your segment is drawing. Yeah. That means that you're important. If your number's high and then it dips down, you're not the problem. So I can't imagine his persona would be that. Like, I do care.
Should care about the Nielsen rating.
Yeah.
Us three, anybody in the chat, anyone on Twitter that's not getting paid by AEW shouldn't give a shit about it. Because it doesn't involve you. It doesn't pertain to you. It has nothing to do with your enjoyment of what you're watching.
And look at it like, I always look at stuff like this, like Budweiser is the number 1 beer in America, or Bud Light is the number 1 beer in America. Does that mean it's the best beer in America? No. But there's people that do enjoy it, but there's other things out there. There's other beers that maybe don't sell as well, but they still they're still a great product. I'm just saying, guys, like,
right, I'm an Angry Yorkshire type of guy.
Yeah,
but
that's what I mean. Like, there's something for everybody. So I left the last couple weeks of like watching wrestling just going like,
this rules.
This is awesome stuff.
Rules.
Like,
and we're not even done with the week yet.
Yeah,
no,
and we still have, and like I said, we haven't even talked about some of the other stuff. That's just because
John Cena announced that he's retiring.
Peace, boy.
And we literally have mentioned it in passing for a total of about 15 seconds. That
Wyatt Fitz did another.
We're going to get a full year of them, so we're going to have plenty of time to honor the shrine.
I got to go to a show. I got to go to a show with him on it, because I got to see him one time.
100%. Raw was absolutely bonkers this week.
Yeah.
We have the overrun tonight. Yeah, we'll be finishing up here.
Had I not spent 14 minutes talking about Marko Stunt at the
Hey,
top,
look at it. You needed it. We needed to give you your shine. He got the solo layout.
I gotta be
We
honest
gave
with you. I was actually pretty proud of myself for keeping as much composure as I did there. Like,
Yeah, it was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Pretty
I didn't write nothing down. But no, I thought like the Liv and Dom stuff. Rhea Ripley's fucking back.
Yeah,
And we
Rhea
haven't
Ripley
mentioned
returned
it.
on Monday. Dom should be
Dead.
running for his life.
You didn't talk about that?
No,
No.
we didn't get it. We talked about
my God.
Marco,
We
and we talked about the Money in the Bank weekend. Which
we talked about this, yeah, Seth and Drew, and you came in at the end of that, but like, yeah, no, we didn't even talk about how Rhea Ripley returned to N Raw. They had a mixed tag main event. Rhea Ripley returned, so it looks like we're gonna get. And then we got SummerSlam coming in 3 weeks.
I'm not saying Dom was right, but I can understand it.
Listen, I feel like for the most part,
I'm not saying that you
Dom
should do that.
Mysterio has been pretty. He's been pretty on the line here. How he has not wanted to be involved. There's only so much you can do when a woman is literally throwing herself.
No means no for sure.
Yes, but but she's the instigator. Dom's
he also can shut the door. But I'm saying like he's been trying for years to beat his deadbeat dad.
Yeah,
and the only time he's been able to do it is with Liv Morgan by his side.
Listen, I feel like when Dom has been
he held a lot
by the Judgment Day or Rhea in compromised positions, it's not because he's been the aggressor. He has not been the one he has been put in bad situations. I feel like Dom has played this very straightforward the whole time. I don't want to do I don't want this, and I feel like Dom's been.
But at the end of the day,
on Monday night, it did look like he was about to plant one on her. It did.
Oh, I mean,
it looked like he just beat his deadbeat dad.
But here's the thing, though. If you remember, I think it was like 2 or 3 months ago. There was right when Liv was literally starting this. Right after, I think it was either right before or after Rhea got injured. He was shown coming out of a room that Liv was in.
Had he kissed her on Monday night, I think she would have pulled back because I think she likes the idea of like him, like playing this manipulative game.
She doesn't want Dom.
Right. She doesn't want him. So the second he wants her,
she don't want anything to do with this guy.
He's gonna kick his ass. Like, you don't cheat. Listen, you don't cheat in front of millions of people on TV for one, and you don't cheat on Rhea Ripley. Someone's gonna die on Monday. But Rhea was.
Yeah,
this is what I said.
This
is what I said. She looked upset. She was mad for sure, 100%. But it was that shock and awe of like catching him in the act. And now she's going to stew on it for a few days. And she's like, I'm going to beat that ass. So Dom, you better run. You better check and see if you can get some of that armor or get put back in jail for a little bit just for your, there's this guy running. There's this guy running around on TikTok. He's like, I don't know his name or nothing. I can't give him full credit, but he'll go up to police officers and he goes, hey, listen, I'm just kind of sick of my baby mamas. There's some like low end misdemeanor I could do to like get a week in jail just to get away. I can feel like Dom's like, hey, will you take me back to jail, please? Please take me back.
Let me tell you. The beauty of this story is that
I
don't remember.
Dom did nothing wrong.
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did. I can argue that. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't think Dom has done anything wrong here.
He got stretched out though.
But she was the. Listen,
you could say no, push him off, get away.
Well, look at he got caught by his boys. Oh, how about that? How about Carlito with the dick joke? Can we talk about the dick joke Carlito did on Raw? Hell yeah, bro.
I like that you're like, can we talk about Carlito's dick joke yet?
Yes.
Dry humping the shit out of
I don't care about that.
3 hours.
I don't care about that. You can get that free on the internet wherever you want. I don't care about that. WWE cracked a dick joke. That's incredible. That's what we got to be talking about. I'm an adult. I like hearing adult jokes on my TV shows.
It was Ibu on
Wrestle Purist.
He tweeted out a long thing about this today, but the main point of his whole thing was the revenge tour. Liv's revenge tour was always about dismantling the empire that Rhea Ripley built.
Correct.
I do think that it never was that she is in love with Dom. It's that she knew that she could eventually get Dom away from Rhea.
Yeah.
With Rhea not being around.
Oh yeah,
Took the belt. She took her man. She's trying to break up the faction, which she's doing. It's working.
but she's also proven her worth to them. She's got them gold.
Yeah, she got them gold, but that was part of the tension. Listen, she did that because she knows in order to break up the Judgment Day, Finn Balor is the one that. Yeah, sorry, there's a reason I didn't put it up. I didn't put it up here.
But I'm just wondering why she put that in there now.
I don't know.
We're talking about Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan.
I don't know.
Knocking boots.
You know, I mentioned that Lawrence bought us towels for the murder house that we stayed at. The towel he got me was black and gold. And I almost refused to shower because I didn't want it was the same colors as the Steelers. And I was like,
don't worry, I got all gray towels, dude.
But anyway, side note. Dom needs his flowers. Dom needs his flowers. Dom is just, let me tell you, whether you like him or you don't like him, Dom is an all-star on this show. He is an all-star on this show. He's turned into a good character. He's turned into being pretty good at this.
Dude. All right. Keep going.
What happened?
No. Yeah, he said Dom almost folded on Raw, but if you don't forget the most pivotal scene in forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Wait a minute.
Remember forgetting Sarah Marshall when she's trying to win him back, and he's like, we were kissing and stuff. She was comforting me. I was comforting her. We started kissing. Then she performed 15 seconds. And then the bartender's like, he refused a blowjob, mid-blowjob from his ex-girlfriend. Yeah. That man deserves a medal.
Yeah.
So Dom.
Listen, we've been talking about
lesser men or better men than Dom have crumbled under that type of pressure. So you got to give him credit there. He shouldn't be putting himself in those situations, though.
I have to tell you something. This conversation is too straight for me.
It's fair.
I don't like it. Because if I was Liv, I'd be going after Daddy Damien. But that's beside the point.
Well,
but that would be like you going after Daddy Damien and Daddy Damien holding out every time until that. And then, he didn't do anything, but he shouldn't have been in the situation. I think that's the moral of the story.
Is it Dom's fault, though, that Adam Pearce put him in a... Dom didn't ask for that match.
But why doesn't Dom have a lock on his locker room and have...
Dom was even complaining earlier in the night to Pearce, saying, why did you put me in this match? I don't want to team with Liv.
That's true.
He was complaining about it, and Pearce said, you know what? Last week was chaotic. I got... it just happened. I wasn't thinking. I'm telling you.
The thing about it is, and listen, my relationship with Adam Pearce has been very love-hate, and he recently unblocked me, so I have to be careful of what I say. But I'm going to hope that Adam Pearce never sees this podcast. No offense to you both,
dude.
But he's not a great general manager.
Well, first of all, I put this on Twitter. He's got to be close to giving his notice, right?
Yeah, I would have quit on
At what
Monday.
point? He cannot be enjoying himself going to work anymore. He cannot be having a good time going up to work.
He really lets people run amok on that show.
Yeah, how are you not putting any notice?
Yeah, but listen, all that aside, Dominic Mysterio can lock himself in his locker. He doesn't have to. He can walk away. He doesn't have to be on a couch. He could just walk away. You know what I'm saying? Maybe complete conspiracy theory. If you want to go Eli Surge with this bitch, maybe Dom and Rhea Ripley are working Liv. Maybe this is all the work to get Liv because she's the one. Hey, let's keep our enemies close. You know what I'm saying?
I had an idea that for SummerSlam, I think, we're definitely getting Rhea and Liv, or if you want to put them together, Leah. We're going to get the two of them at SummerSlam for sure.
Maybe we're going to get a Dominic Mysterio, Tommy Dreamer moment where he says, I'm hardcore. I'll take them both.
No, Misfit, please don't. Don't tag him at this video. I don't want him to see.
Listen, if Adam Pearce watches this show, By all
He's gonna
means,
block me again.
by all means,
Everybody watches this show.
yeah, I was gonna say if he's
Please
watching,
don't block me again. And speaking of Adam Pearce, somebody was sitting in his office on Monday night.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that either. Another fantastic Wyatt throughout the show on Monday. We had the Nikki Cross thing again with Gable. We had another excellent video with Bo Dallas in the Firefly Funhouse. And then later on in the show, we see Adam Pearce open his office, and Bo Dallas is just sitting in the office. And at the end of
he may have killed Pierce. We don't know yet. He said Bo
and
Dallas is killing.
I Misfit. I think you nailed it right here. He is reminding me a lot of Bray in this performance and just the way things are going. Like I see a lot of Bray in it, and I think he is absolutely killing it. He is absolutely killing it. I am still very, very intrigued. And at the end of the video, he said it's time to let them all free, and it showed them in their old iterations in the video. I liked it a lot, and it makes me think that we're going to see these people looking like they're just regular old selves here, and that's how they're going to. I'm very intrigued to see how this continue. I really, because once they showed him in the office, they never went back to it. Right? That was it. That was the last thing.
Yeah, they like
that door open and him sitting there, and that was it.
And Pierce just walked in and shut the damn door like it was nothing. I'd have been like, bro,
3 weeks ago, they had murdered half your staff.
Yeah.
Half your staff back there.
That was the only time,
man. Let me shut this door.
That was the only time in 3 hours he was calm, cool, and collective, and understood the assignment. Everything else, he spazzing the fuck out. The dude that murdered Chad Gable sitting there, you're just like, hey, dude, what's up? Like, come on, Pierce. Watch this. Do better, Pierce.
Wow.
Anyway.
On that note.
Drew, we were supposed to talk about AEW with you. I think
we did for a little bit. I mean, I really just want listen. There was AEW the last couple of weeks has been good stuff. They've been really riding some good dynamites here. I just want to talk about that ending sequence of last night because that was just man. AEW hadn't had me feeling that sort of way in a while.
Don't go. We don't have to go super duper deep because we are in overtime on this. But quick, I put it out on Facebook a little bit ago. Who's more likely to win their match at Wembley, Bryan or Mariah May?
Oh, Mariah May for sure. I could see Mariah May winning, and then Misfit said earlier, then Jamie Hayter shows up as like the big return.
Okay,
I agree.
And then that goes to Hayter and May. Oh,
what?
Lou's back in here. That door just came. It didn't come swinging open like earlier, but I think he heard Bryan Danielson again. He was like, "Are they talking?" Oh,
yeah. He's like, "Listen, mother."
He's like, "Wait a minute." I heard you guys talking about my man Bryan Danielson again. Hey, bud. All right, Drew. Let the people know where they can find you. Firmly AW is returning.
Yes, they can dare the amazing. That is also an option.
Oh, God.
Listen, dude, don't be picking against Lou, bro.
Wow. Lou just came in here like a ball of fire.
You didn't get that. You didn't get a lock. You didn't get a lock on that door, dude.
No, because he starts crawling and crying.
You give him some catnip or something,
Oh, Lou. Jeez Louise. All right, sorry.
At least the microphone came back immediately.
This reminds me of the one time that you tried to get Drew to plug his stuff, and then he goes, "I don't want anybody to follow me anyway." And he slept.
Yeah, he's like, "Don't,"
because we just kept talking.
Cool. But anyway, Drew, plug your shit. Let the people know where they can find you.
Just follow me at the Drew Nicholas. You'll see the stuff I'm doing. But more importantly, watch the Fightful post-collision shows on Saturday nights with Rick and Ridian and Cresta, and give us money so this way we can be supported and make money. Money is nice.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I like money.
Pluggo.
I need all the money I can get. Hi, I'm Pluggo. You can find me on at Pluggo on all social media platforms. You can find what we do here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. at B2 Beers on all socials to stay up to date. We got shirts now. There's a merch store.
We do have merch.
Teespring.com.
If sure.
/
Yeah, we'll post a link on the socials so everybody can go.
There's already a link up on the social, so go to our social medias at B2Beards. The link is there. We'll come up with something. I made a graphic and everything, but it doesn't quite fit right, so I'll make sure next week we have something proper. But we got shirts, hoodies, affiliate requested tank tops, so I'm going to make sure we got those for her because she's dope. So yeah, if you want to help us,
I'm like a firmly dummy shirt.
I could make that happen for you.
We can make that happen. We can make that happen.
I can
all assorted colors. We can.
We can make
Jordan. Mariah can be. I think she will beat Tony.
Yeah, so there's option. But yeah, we got all that going on there. Sunday morning, we're back to Sunday. We're gonna do Sunday one more week because of shoot things. Because my son's in All Stars now, and there's practice all the time. For Exposure with Blair Pacheco, we're going to talk independent wrestling, do the damn thing there, get you ready for LPW at the end of the month. We get to see Jack Pride lose 2 grand championship matches. I'm psyched for that. Thad, you can suck it. You've been picking on me on the internet, so that's where you can find me, beefing with Thaddeus Archer III on the internet.
Oh, Seven broke up, didn't they?
Yeah, they're like 3.5 now.
Yeah, I don't know if it's an official breakup, but there's been some dissension. Listen,
I didn't fire the first shot in this one.
No, hey, listen, be on the lookout because I get to do the next edition of the LPW show with both Jack Pride and Thaddeus Archer. That'll be getting released probably next week before the show. And if you don't think we're going to talk about Pluggo on that, you are sorely mistaken because we're going to talk about
who on the LPW. Lou did it again.
He knocked out his mic.
Lou did it again.
All I'm saying is if he runs his mouth on that LPW show about me, I'm going to show up.
Who on the LPW show or the LPW roster actually likes you, Pluggo?
That's fair. It's a revolving door of like some weeks they like me, some weeks they don't, but everybody's pretty much yelled at me at this point except for TNFA and Stephen Crow. That's about it. I've had listen.
Here we go.
All I did, and I stand by this. You can look back at the tape, you can check all the LPW shows. I just wanted to make sure that Mars, Jack, and them were good. They were not, clearly, but they kept telling me they were good. And I said, but I'm watching the show every month, and there's tension, there's dissension, there's beef. It's coming to a head. And what happened? It came to a head, and they didn't like my journalistic and journalistic ways. But that's a show for another day. We have LPW coming up in the next few weeks.
I will gladly be Pluggo.
What?
And that should What?
Your microphone.
You're like dying.
The volume went very low again.
You might have to yell. Uh-oh. Lou fucked up.
Lou, we're trying to end this show here, Lou.
JPJ is Rhea Ripley and Lou is Dom. You fucked up.
Can you not hear me?
I can hear you. You sound like you're in a car, though.
Volume
what the hell, man?
Yeah.
There you go. Now plug your shit before it goes out again.
Just do it, quick.
No.
Nope. You're in and out again. Wait.
Can you hear me?
I can. This is how it sounds. You go. Hear me?
Ladies and gentlemen, you can follow JPJ at JPJ Loves Gaming.
What the hell?
There you go. Go. You're good.
JPJ Loves Gaming
on
all social media platforms. Next Thursday, 10 a.m., we return with Drew and I, firmly AEW. Lou's going to leave and knock my shit off again. Thursday nights, 8 p.m. between two beards. Next Tuesday, though, on the streaming on Twitch, NCAA college football comes out, and it's the first one in 10 years. Even though he was a jerk tonight and knocked my microphone off numerous times, Lou is the mascot of our college we're creating. We're going to be having a lot of fun, cool stuff over there. So if you like that, come hang out. Lou just left. That was his parting shot. He was like, I just wanted to collapse your
we're going to
show
get an apron bump next week, too.
What is it? Yes, Pluggo and I will be a guest on a podcast next week as well. Look on our socials for that. We're going to start trying to be doing that more often and hopping on other people's stuff to kind of get our name out there because we're going to take over SummerSlam, and then it's over for us. We are big stars after that, is what I've been told.
You'll be
so. We'll see. We'll see.
Do not answer that question. He'll come back.
Huh?
Wait, what? Oh yeah, I know.
Oh, we're facing it all again, JPJ. Brian Danielson, not Hangman Page. Hangman Page is a bum. I got you. He's staying away because I'm talking good.
Don't say that name too loud. Brian Danielson, don't.
What if the door just
The
lights went out? Everything
Imagine it happened again. You just hear the pop, like the Wyatts and Lou just.
And he's like,
I heard someone mention Brian Danielson.
The lantern.
That's my boy.
Oh, dude.
Anyway,
crazy.
on that note, thank you all. It was good to come back. I had missed doing these shows the last week or so being away, but we'll be back. Say his exactly. We didn't even talk about that. We mentioned it in passing, that Joe Hendry showing up on NXT, and that moment, that was amazing.
Yeah. Lou.
Yeah. All right, guys. For Drew, for Lawrence earlier, for Big Bad Boris as well, who popped in.
Yeah.
Show him some love Saturday night at midnight for his show. We want to thank everybody for joining us in the chat. Thank you for everybody for popping in during the show tonight. For Pluggo and myself, we appreciate all of you very, very much. Say hi to Sue. We'll see you next week. Peace out.
Marko Stunt.
Peace. Marko Stunt return. Last time he's ever being mentioned on this show. Bye.
What you think?
Hey there, Plugo and JPJ. It's Trent's mom, Sue, and I have a bone to pick with you. So, I understand that you guys are being real idiots and spending your entire monthly budget. You've got to be kidding me. This is not the way to be when you're trying to run a business. Your boss, Spencer, is really pissed off at you. I'm pissed off at you. You have some nerve. Get a grip. You have to control yourself. You can't just go out and spend all the money that you're making, you two beards guys. Oh no, this is coming out so stupid. Anyway, behave yourselves, or I'm going to cut you off from watching AEW. You're no longer going to get to know, be able to meet my son. What? Or me. I'm sorry, this is like, I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much for being fans. Watch yourselves. Knock it off.